Waddy with a 50-yard pass for the victory here in Texas Stadium. Those same 4 years ago, same stadium, Southern Methodist introduced a freshman running back named Eric Dickerson, who dreamed of turning the Mustangs into a national power. A power like John Robinson's USC Trojans, for instance. In this same year, 1979, they went unbeaten and on to the Rose Bowl. Who would have guessed that 4 years later, Robinson, Ferragamo, and Dickerson would come together to lead the Rams back into the playoffs? Meanwhile, the Cowboys story involves the more immediate past. 2 weeks ago, a botched play on a 4th and 1 sent Coach Tom Landry into a fury and started Dallas toward a crushing defeat by Washington. Then last Monday in San Francisco, the Cowboys turned the ball over 5 times in a shelling by the 49ers. Will Dallas return to form today, or will the season end early in the chill of Texas Stadium?
CBS Sports presents the National Football League.
Lifted thanks to a couple of local businessmen who purchased the remaining tickets. And those fans who are here, and there are a lot of them who are not here, but those who are here are dressed for the cold. It's 27 degrees, wind southeast 15 miles an hour. And in the forecast, a chance of rain, snow, and sleet, and just about everything unpleasant you can think of. But on a more pleasant note, I'm Pat Summerall. Good afternoon, and we all from CBS Sports wish you and hope you had a very happy Christmas. John Madden is with me as usual, and John, in talking to Tom Landry, the Dallas coach, last night, it seemed to me that I have never seen him with such a lingering memory as the one about the defeat by Washington 2 weeks ago.
Of course, you know, that was 2 weeks ago, and he's still talking about that game, and he's using words like devastating and shocked, and I think what it did, it really emotionally drained this Dallas Cowboy team, because that day they lost a lot more in a football game. They lost the division, they lost the bye this week, but probably more than anything, I think they lost a lot of their confidence, and the Cowboys have taken a lot of heat the last 2 weeks, and Danny Flake has taken a lot of heat. They had a team meeting this week. They wanted to change that around, and I think here in the pregame warm-up, we can see the reception that Danny White got.
Of course, both these teams depend so heavily on key running backs, Tony Dorsett of Dallas and Eric Dickerson, the great rookie from SMU, with the Rams. I think, and I know you think, that it's the key to the whole thing will be who can run the ball.
It could be. You know, we always talk about the passing in the game today, but doggone it, the running has so much to do with it. I've always felt that the Cowboys, when they can run the football, that they really have confidence. Conversely, when they can't run, they lose a lot more than just not being able to run. They lose all their confidence. They don't call the same type of plays, because when you can run, you create a lot of great situations. You have that short yardage thing where you can either pass or run. You have the option. You control the ball longer. You keep the ball. You let your defense stand on the sideline to get rested and refreshed and ready to go. And I really feel that if the Cowboys are going to get back, they have to get their confidence. The way they get their confidence is by running or rushing the football. And maybe the team that runs the best today may be the team that wins it all.
And it would seem that the Rams will have the first opportunity to run it, as they have won the toss and chosen to kick off. It is cold. Not to belabor the point, but it is very cold at Texas Stadium. Heaters on both sidelines. As you know, the NFL rule is that if one team has heaters, both teams must have heaters, or at least they must be available. And they are available both on the Ram bench and Dallas. John Misko, the Ram punter. Warming his hands, and Raphael Septien. Dangerous, ever dangerous kick returner. Mike Gooman and Barry Redden flank him. Raphael Septien will kick it off for the Cowboys as we start the wild card game to see who advances in the Super Bowl tournament. It is Mike Gooman. Fumbles it. Can't find the handle. Wearing gloves. Finally does find the handle. Inside the 15. Ron Fellows, the first Cowboy to hit him. The lineups. The Rams offensive backs and receivers. Ferragamo, the quarterback. Eric Dickerson, Mike Gooman, the backs. Gooman, the U-back. Preston Denard, George Farmer wide, and the tight end is Mike Barber. Bill Bain, Kent Hill, Doug Smith, Dennis Harrah, and Jackie Slater up front. The Dallas defense will check out after they run this first play. 1st and 10. Rams a long time in the huddle. Barber and Farmer. This is David Hill now, who is in motion. It is outside to George Farmer. Bill Bates up to make the hit along with Everson Walls. The Rams had said that they were going to throw on 1st down, and they started that way. The Dallas defense, Ed Jones, Dutton, Randy White, Harvey Martin up front. 3 linebackers, Hegman, Brunig, and Anthony Dickerson. Not Eric, no relation. In the secondary, Walls, Thurman, Bates, and Downs. Rams got about 6, so make it 2nd and 4 from their own 21. Vince Ferragamo had a bad split finger on his throwing hand, but he said last night it's just about healed and causes him no discomfort. Denard swung in motion. Ferragamo gets it to Preston Denard, and Denard will get a Ram 1st down. He goes out of bounds at about the 28. Brunig, the middle linebacker, chased him out. Here is Ferragamo's hand, which caused him a great deal of discomfort earlier.
Well, we can see where it is. It's in the webbing on his throwing hand between the little finger and the next finger end. And where he has a problem is not gripping or throwing the ball, but the pounding of taking the snap from the center.
He said it also had bothered his shoulder because of the way he had to throw in an unusual motion. So right now, that was his biggest problem. The lone setback is Dickerson. Hasn't handled it yet. Now he has. Dickerson for maybe 2. Ed Jones comes swirling down to make the initial contact. Dickerson got a couple.
Old Ed Jones played that cutback, didn't he? That's the thing. You know, with the one back, Eric Dickerson is going to start one way and then come the other. Now watch number 72, Ed Too Tall Jones. When the ball starts away from him, you have to keep position on it. You see, wait for it to come back with a guy like Eric Dickerson.
He is one of the best at that. He and Dorsett both. George Farmer split wide to the right. Henry Ellard out to the left side. Ferragamo back with Dickerson protecting. Ferragamo has Barber. Penalty marker down upfield, or else one of the officials just lost a hat. Bill Bates put the hit on Barber. 11-yard gain. Watch that hit.
Yeah, the official just threw his hat because the outside receiver went out of bounds. Now, Bill Bates is starting today in place of Dexter Clinkscale because Tom Landry said, we aren't tackling well in the secondary. I need some tacklers in there. And he says, I know Bates will do it. Watch him 40. Boom, just square right there. Bang! Put him right down on his back. I'll tell you, that Bill Bates, he'll come around and he'll find where the ball is and put some leather to leather, paint to paint.
Paint to paint, whatever it takes. That was Mike Hegman, the other tackler. But the Rams have another 1st down, and Ferragamo gives to Dickerson, and Dickerson breaks into the clear. Michael Downs takes him out of bounds as they get inside the Dallas 40. 19 yards for Eric Dickerson.
I'll tell you, this guy is something, isn't he? I'll tell you, he's as big as a fullback and as quick as a halfback. Watch these quick moves. He starts in there off Brunig. He just bounced out, takes it to the outside, gets Bates caught up in there, takes the thing, cuts back, goes to the sideline. He's still going. I'll tell you, that was some kind of move. I mean, up, in, out, back up, the whole deal there.
This, of course, is where he played his collegiate football for the Mustangs of SMU. 2 tight end offense now as Dallas shows blitz. Ferragamo pump fake looking deep for Farmer. Penalty markers down, and Farmer is out of bounds.
That's going to be against Everson Walls, too. I think it was an out and up. And as Farmer was making his out move, I think we'll see that Walls may have grabbed him or put a hand on him. Now, once you get beyond 5 yards, you can't touch him. Now, watch. Everson Walls is the outside defender. Here's Farmer. You see, he starts that out move, then he starts up. Now, watch right there. You see the right arm? And it goes right on Farmer's left shoulder and down his arm. Fisher called that. Boom, 5 yards. That won't be pass interference.
Referee is Gordon McCarter. The public address announcement system is out of order because of the extreme cold. All kind of pipes have burst overnight at Texas Stadium. As you look at John Robinson, the penalty against Everson Walls gives the Rams the first down at the Dallas 24.
What they're talking about here is whether the ball was in the air. If the ball was in the air when he committed the foul, then it's interference. If it was before the ball was thrown, then it would be defensive holding. See, now, this is an all-star officiating crew. In other words, they didn't work together as a team. These are the people that got votes and got to be in these playoff games.
It's incomplete. We will reestablish the previous spot and then assess the 5-yard penalty.
Let's have another look at that last play and see.
Let's look at it right here. Now, again, if the ball's in here, you see the out move, then the up move, and then here's the penalty right there. I think it's very close.
I think so.
Because you see, the thing is they can't say.
For illegal contact, number 24, defense, or 5 yards, automatic first down.
The automatic first down gives the Rams a first down at the Dallas 33, and obviously they ruled that it was not in the air. He had not thrown it. It was close.
Well, either that it was not in the air or the ball was out of bounds and an uncatchable ball. They do that sometimes, too.
Duman and Dickerson behind Ferragamo. That's Duman on the flank and in motion now. Pitch back to Dickerson. Looking for some room up and finds some. Eric Dickerson, another Ram, first down inside the Dallas 20. As you said, big as a fullback, moves like a halfback.
And I'll tell you, watch the pursuit here of the Dallas defense. Now, they think Dickerson's going wide to the left. Look, it's a pitch. Now, watch, they'll all run there. Watch, they just stay with the blocks. Now, watch, there's 5 guys right there, and he cuts right back against that grain. There's John Dutton, who didn't get back for the cutback. You see all those 5 guys? They just rode him out, and he cut right up in that seam there.
Dickerson, 3 carries, 37 yards already. First down Rams at the Dallas 18. Denard in motion this time, and Ferragamo backpedals under pressure from Randy White. Touchdown, David Hill. Ferragamo with a rush by White, still hung in there and got rid of it and got the Rams on the board.
I think the Cowboys were in one of those coverages where the middle linebacker, Bob Brunick, was isolated on the tight end, David Hill. I think they were so concerned with the wide receivers. Now watch Bruning here. He's 53. He's going to end up covering David Hill. See, Hill comes inside. He starts there with him. Now watch as the ball comes up. The closest guy is a middle linebacker, 53, Bob Bruning. That's a mismatch. It was a great read by Ferragamo.
That's a pretty tough job to ask of a middle linebacker. Nolan Cromwell will hold. Lansford will try for the extra point. Rams win at 85 yards. Extra point's good. And they lead 7-0. Cold turf at Texas Stadium.
Let's see if we can see that touchdown here. Now what happens is David Hill is here. He's going to take an inside release, and that puts him on the linebacker, Brunig. Then he's going to come and run a corner. Brunig starts back here. He loses right in here. See where I start to scribble there. Now watch it. The inside release puts Brunig on him. You see the motion starts out. The secondary is going to cover the outside guy. Look, here comes Hill. Brunig's waiting for him, but he runs deep, and he runs a corner on him. And Brunig said, whoa, I need help deep, man.
That play looks familiar. John Madden at Texas Stadium. The Ram drive, and it was a dandy. 7 plays, 85 yards they went.
You know, the thing that impressed me about that drive is they had 5 first downs. They ran 3 times on first down and passed 2 times.
Ron Fellows from the Dallas 13 behind the block of Allen. Fellows still on his feet. To about the 30, a good return. Mike Williams made the stop. The Dallas offense. Danny White, Dorsett, Springs, Drew Pearson, and Tony Hill, the wide receivers. Donovan Scott, Rafferty, Richards, Cooper, and Cosby, the tight end. That's the way they start, but they don't necessarily stay that way. There is Danny White. Those figures are certainly more than respectable, but he's been under heavy criticism here in Dallas. But as John Madden pointed out at the top of the broadcast, his teammates certainly came to show their appreciation of what he's done. Very emotional scene as the game began. This is Drew Pearson in motion, and this is Ron Springs for a couple. Right straight ahead. Youngblood and Meisner and Doss. The front three for the Rams, and there they are, and they all converge to make that tackle. 4 linebackers, Owens, George Andrews on the outside, Collins and Carl Eckern in the middle. And the secondary, Harris and Irvin the corners, Cromwell and Johnson, who have swapped positions, the 2 safety men. Pickup of maybe 3 for Springs, and White brings the Cowboys out. Tony Hill out wide, along with Drew Pearson, and Dorsett goes back deep. Hand off to Dorsett. He squirms or tries to the outside. It's Greg Meisner, the nose tackle, who comes from nowhere to cut him down.
I'll tell you, the thing you have to do is you can't let that nose tackle, the guy that lines up over the center, you can't let him get penetration and run the ball. When that guy can get in the backfield, that's the most important matchup to run the ball, is the center against the nose tackle.
Now in what the Rams think is a passing situation, and it would seem so, they come in with Gary Jeter to help rush the passer, and they go with 4 down linemen. Man over the center.
Jack Youngblood loves this defense.
Gives him room to roam. Butch Johnson makes a juggling catch and does well to hang on. Took a jolt in the back, and Butch might be shaken a bit. George Andrews applied the massage. Johnson's still down. Yeah.
He got him right there. You know, that's one part of the body that's not protected, because he catches him above the hip pads and below the shoulder pads. Watch here, as is exposed right there. You see, he caught him right in that lower back thing and just bent Butch away that he doesn't go.
Butch tried to get back to his feet and then realized he had been hit harder than perhaps he thought. Rams 7, Dallas nothing. We're in the first quarter. There's Butch Johnson, who after the hit by Andrews finally got up to his feet and sprinted off the field. So he's not only fast, he's tough. Danny White will be punting for Dallas. Henry Ellard is back for the Rams. Out of bounds at about the Ram 30. White did not begin the year punting, as you know, and has had a tough time getting back into the groove. That one's 32 yards. Vince Ferragamo in the first drive, 4 out of 4. He and Eric Dickerson displaying first-class wares in that first drive. Dickerson with Gooman, and now Dickerson moves back deep. Ferragamo will throw on first down again. Has a man open, it's Dickerson. And out there with him to take him down is Anthony Dickerson.
Dickerson on Dickerson. That's one of the things that John Robinson wanted to do on first down, is mix up run and pass. Not run every first down, but conversely don't pass every first down. And he's really started out about as even as you can get. On first down, he's passed 3 times, and he's run the ball 3 times. The other thing he says is by passing, he said, I want to get Eric Dickerson involved in the passing game, because that's as good as a run, and that was. I mean, you know, he ends up 2nd and 2.
Line of scrimmage is the Ram 42. Los Angeles leading 7-0 over Dallas. Ferragamo back to Dickerson. Dickerson breaks one tackle, breaks another, and gets the first down outside the 45. Dennis Thurman on the bottom.
You know what I liked about Eric Dickerson when we were talking to him last night is he says that, you know, that when the run comes to an end, and a running back always knows when it's coming to the end, he tries to finish it off. He said he tries to punish the defender. He said he knows that that tackler is going to try and, you know, punish him. So he just takes one side of him and really, you know, gives him a whap. And that makes sense. You know, just because you play offense, that doesn't mean you have to take all that stuff from those defensive guys, those wild guys.
Those are instinctive things that he's talking about. Barry Redden has replaced Dickerson now. First down, Rams, their own 47. This is Redden. Redden will get a couple, and that's all. Shy of midfield. Too tall. Jones and John Dutton converge.
Number 30, Barry Redden.
See, and that was the backside. You know, they had the onside, you know, defended pretty well, and then the backside just closed everything down, so Redden couldn't cut back.
This information from the Cowboy base puts Johnson.
Pretty good average. There's Tom Landry. Ready for the weather. Second down for the Rams. Barry Redden remains the running back. Farmer in motion. Ferragamo will try to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Preston Denard. Back there with him, Everson Walls. No flags this time. Like they've made up their mind that that's the place to work.
I'll tell you, they're going to work deep in this game, you know, and I think it's one of those things that you want to do, but you don't do all the time, because when you throw the ball up the field deep like that, it's the second time in the first quarter the Rams run, you really stretch the defense. You make them think deep. Get them back off. Then it's easier to work underneath them, to work in front of them, and to run the ball. Get them stretched. Get them back. Loosen them up.
Now it's 3rd and 8. And Dallas has their extra defensive backs in the game. The Rams have Dickerson back in the game. 3rd down and 8 from their own 49 for the Rams. Here comes the blitz. Ferragamo ducks one, but he can't get away from Don Smerrick. It was Clinkscale who was there first, and it's a loss of 8. Bill Bates also involved. Clinkscale, number 47, was the first man on the scene.
He was the first guy, and they didn't get him. He's going to come right in this hole here. Now watch him. They block, and here comes Clinkscale. They don't block him. Watch him. Right here. You see him? He hits that hole perfectly. See, they didn't pick him up. He went high. Ferragamo ducked under, but they got him.
Gary Allen is back deep for Dallas. Misko's punt comes off the side of his foot. They let it bounce. Get away from it. And the Rams surrounded at about the Dallas 21-yard line. That's where they've done it. The Cowboys will take over with 7 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in the first quarter. The Rams 7, Dallas nothing. 37-yard punt by Misko. Well, the conference, I'm sure, is about that last Dallas blitz, which the offensive line of the Rams had nobody assigned to Clinkscale.
They're talking about it. That coach, that was Hudson Houck down there, the offensive line coach, and he was doing a lot of diagrams saying, you got him, you got him, you got him, you take him, and someone has to block Clinkscale when he comes from there.
Wilson was the man in motion. This is Tony Dorsett. Straight ahead for maybe 3, no more than that. Jim Collins and Carl Eckern, the 2 middle linebackers, converge to stop Dorsett. Dallas operating from their own 25-yard line, trailing Los Angeles 7-0.
Yeah, I really feel that thing, that when the Cowboys can run, you can just feel the team exude confidence. And conversely, when they can't run, you just feel the whole team lose confidence.
John Robinson very much aware of that. Cowboys have Doug Cosby for a first down at about their own 34-yard line. Collins on the tackle.
Well, here's what we're talking about. You know, in the 4 games that the Cowboys lost, they rushed for under 100 yards per game. That's not Tony Dorsett. That's combined rushing. All the other games that they won, they rushed for more than 100 yards. But the one thing is common in their 4 losses is rushing less than 100 yards.
There's what it is right now. Rams 44, Dallas 5.
That's a little slow start, isn't it?
A little bit. That's their first down, in fact. This is Ron Springs cutting back over the right side for not much. Collins again on the tackle. Maybe Springs got a yard.
Well, Jack Youngblood is some story on that defense,
really
isn't he? In his 13th year, and he played all 12 of those years as a defensive end in a 4-man line, and then John Robinson came in. They put in a 3-man line, and Jack said, "Oh, this is going to hurt, but I'll do it."
He said, well, the first game of the year, he said, I asked him how he thought of what he felt about the 3-4. He said, I hate it, but he's played it well.
Because he has to get squared up on that tackle.
Second down and 9 from the 35. White back to throw. In the middle again, it was Ron Springs who can't find the handle. linebacker and closest Ram defender there is Dick Nolan, ex-Saint and 49er head coach, along with Tom Landry.
3rd down, 9.
You know, in this 3rd down situation, Tom Landry calls the play or the formation by a color. And he has a red formation, a blue formation, a green formation. So all those players that are involved in that, that's all he has to say is green. See, and in this situation, he has 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. That's probably blue or something, say.
Probably. Dallas operating out of the spread. The Rams on a blitz. It is caught by Tony Hill. Tony Hill still fighting. It is a Dallas 1st down right at midfield. Eric Harris, the defender. 15-yard gain. Here is Tom Landry with that message, and look at those cards. The reason Dick Nolan also has a card is he does a double check on what Tom calls.
Tony Hill made a nice move. You see what he did to Eric Harris there right at the end. He gave him those 3 quick steps, making him think he was going deep just before he made that out cut.
Tony Hill missed early part of the season because of a foot injury, but it's come on strong. 1st and 10. Dallas right at midfield. Here's Dorsett. Dorsett gets only back to the line of scrimmage. Greg Meisner and Youngblood on the bottom of the pile.
Still say you have to block the nose tackle on that, and when they're running inside, they're not getting that guy blocked.
There's Greg Meisner playing in front of Rafferty, and of course Kurt Peterson not able to play. Normally he would have started at right guard. Howard Richards in his place. Dallas rushing comparison just to amplify what you were talking about before.
Had trouble those last 2 games against the Redskins and the 49ers.
Here is Danny White trying to set up a screen, and does to Ron Springs, but he's going nowhere. Again, it's Meisner over quickly. Have to control that man. They haven't done it so far.
You know, that's a good example of the things we're talking about. Is on the inside run, this nose tackle, 69 there, Meisner, has to take care of the inside run. The other thing he does on a passing situation, he has drawn screen and those types of things. Did you see him there? He just pushed the center down and came right down the line and got Ron Springs at the line of scrimmage.
Greg Meisner, one of many players who played at Pitt.
You gotta like nose tackles from Pitt. You know, I mean, guy in the Pitt from Pitt, Meisner, that stuff kind of goes together.
Here's White. Has time, has Springs, and he has it go right through his hand. You could see him look just before the ball got there. Take a glance to see where the people were.
That's the second one that he dropped on this drive, where he looked like he was looking to see where the people were.
Danny White back to punt, or will be, as the Cowboys get it to midfield, but no farther. Rams playing good rushing defense. 2:42 left 1st quarter. Henry Ellard back along with Johnny Johnson back deep for the Rams. Danny White to kick for Dallas.
This guy's dangerous, this Ellard.
Much better kick. Down quickly are the Cowboys, but Johnny Johnson gets away from the first man down. Bruce Huther knocked him out of bounds. 40-yard punt, 6-yard return, so the net is 34 for the touchdown. Ferragamo to David Hill, got it done. Denard in motion. Cowboys flex. Ed Jones all over Ferragamo. All over him. Ferragamo no chance.
Ed Jones said, hey, you guys want to pass on 1st down? Okay, I'm going to rush the passer. The heck with that flex stuff. I'm going to get in my stance and just take off up the field. Now, that was a play pass, you see, and what the Rams were trying to do was give run-tight blocking. Now, that's okay, but you have to get too tall when those guys block. See, watch this here. We see the tackle pull. You see they're trying to influence. Jackie Slater pulls away from too tall, but no one got him.
Second. Here's Ferragamo with time this time. Has Henry Ellard down the middle and gets the Rams out of the hole. Bill Bates on the tackle, but it's a Ram first down, 22-yard pickup.
I'll tell you, you have to like a quarterback like Ferragamo can take that loss on first down, have long yardage, and just come back and find another guy. Here's Ellard. He's going there against Everson Walls. Walls looked like he just kind of slowed up or stopped there when Ellard took that inside move. Walls. Bill Bates has to come in and make the tackle.
Right. I think Walls was certain he had some inside help.
Yeah, but still, when the guy goes inside, you follow him or do something.
First down. Go with two tight ends. They now go to Dickerson. Randy White takes him down after about a yard.
And off to Eric Dickerson.
I'll tell you what I'm impressed with is the mixture that the Rams offense is giving. The mixture of run and pass and inside and outside and those types of things. Of course, that's the guy who makes the plan, John Robinson.
Rams in the playoffs in his first year. They finished 9-7.
He and I grew up together in Daly City. We were kids together. Couldn't ride a bike.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, he sure is. He really is.
But couldn't ride a bike. Ferragamo gets it down the middle, almost picked off. Bob Brunig was back deep. Ferragamo had nobody open. Intended for Mike Barber.
I think it was that same type of coverage. You know, when you double cover to the outside, you see, then the safeties go to the outside. Well, what happens is your middle linebacker really has the deep middle. Now, Brunig on this one does a good job, but I think the Rams had the wrong pattern there. They have two tight ends in there, and they probably said tight end post. Both of them ran into the same area. Can't do that.
That brings up 3rd and 8 with 34 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Rams leading Dallas 7-0. They're showing blitz. It's not a blitz. Here's Randy White around behind. Knocked away at the last minute. Henry Ellard, the intended receiver. Ron Fellows was the defender and timed that slap perfectly.
We can see Fellows here. He's running. They're in a man-to-man. They have the 4-0 defense. He's the outside guy. Now he sees a ball thrown, and he gets that left arm in there. That was a great job of just reaching, extending, getting that arm in there and hitting the ball and not hitting the receiver before the ball got there.
Gary Allen back deep. Fisco, the kicker, slides one off the side of his foot. Allen feels it. Dodges one man. Gets back to about the Dallas 31-yard line. 20 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 40-yard punt.
You know, last week the Rams lost their snapper on punts and field goals, Doug Barnett. And they brought in this guy here, 63, Mike McDonald. He hasn't played. He played for John Robinson in college, and he hasn't played in 4 or 5 years. He was doing nothing, and he needed a snapper. And John says, "Remember that guy that played for us at SC back in the late 70s?" He said, "Mike McDonald." He said, "Call him up, see if he wants to play." He says, "Yeah, heck, I'll play."
20 seconds remaining first quarter. Did a pretty good job, McDonald did.
Yeah, he got down there.
Involved in the tackle. Flags all over the place. A lot of people jump offside. Pat Donovan appeared to be the first one, the Dallas left tackle.
They called him and they told him that, and he told his wife and friends.
We'll start. Number 67, offense.
He says, "I got some good news and some bad news." He said, "The good news is that I'm playing for the Rams. The bad news is I won't be home for Christmas."
But we will get a paycheck. Eric Dickerson, remember in the first game of the year when the Rams played the Giants, he had some problems on the artificial surface with a turf toe, and that's still bothering him. 20 seconds left to play first quarter. Rams 7, Cowboys nothing. They need 15. Set for about 7. His longest gain of the day by far. Johnny Johnson, the safety man, brought him down. Here comes Drew Pearson coming in. Let's check out the blocking that last play.
Let's watch this. The off-tackle pull. Pat Donovan pulls. Let's see if we can see it. You see the tackle here. He's going to pull, and it's a trap-type block. You see 67 pulls. He traps Youngblood. Dorsett is right in behind him, and he picks up 7 yards.
So that's the end of the first quarter. They'll change ends. The Rams still lead by a touchdown. Quarter at Texas Stadium with the Rams leading Dallas 7-0. Cold Texas Stadium. They're talking about snow and ice and sleet later on today. Andy White back to throw. Gets it out to Cosby. Cosby outside the 40. Very near Dallas first down. Cut down by Reggie Doss.
Maybe the Cowboys are thinking the same thing. You know, we're not getting that running going. Let's try and loosen them up by throwing some on first downs. Now, Danny White's favorite receiver probably is Doug Cosby because he's big. He can always find him. Look, he has a little move in there. You see him put that stop, plant, up, back, pretty nice. That ball sure does draw a crowd.
Doesn't it, though? They'll measure and see if Cosby got the first down. Doug had been bothered earlier this year by a bruised heel.
Well, he was telling us the other day that it's not really going to get healed until March.
I don't know how he knows that, but that's a long time.
Well, they probably say that the only way it's going to heal is with 2 months of rest, figuring that they'll be off no matter what happens. They'll be off in February, and in March you'll start to feel better.
He has developed into an excellent tight end.
I think they told him that in November, though. You know, that's tough. You know, it's not like, well, it'll be better tomorrow or in a couple of days. You know, you say, well, it'll be better in March of '85.
White on first down to Tony Hill. Tony swings for another Dallas first down in Ram territory. Eric Harris on the stop. Tom Landry alternating his wide receivers to get the plays in.
He used to do that with his guards, but Kurt Peterson is out of this game, so Howard Richards is starting at right guard, and he only has the 2 guards, Herbert Scott and Howard Richards. So now he has to do it with the wide receivers or anyone he can find there on the sideline. But it could be a running back. We saw Dorsett. It could be Ron Springs on the next play, for example.
Or it could be tight ends. Speaking of which, he has 2 in the game now. Billy Joe Dupree and Cosby. And they both back off the line. Dorsett moves. Now Dupree moves back up. They hand to Dorsett, who stopped at the line of scrimmage, trying to get away from Mel Owens and George Andrews. He hesitated just long enough for the rest of the Ram defense to get there, and he got only a couple. Ram injured on the play. Looks like Leroy Irvin.
Yeah, it is Leroy Irvin. George Andrews made a nice play on that. He was the outside linebacker, and he came on a blitz, and he got in the backfield before Dorsett could do anything.
Rams still lead 7-0. After he was shaken up a little bit earlier, and he is out now. Vince Newsom has taken his place, number 22.
Well, what they did is they put Newsom in for Johnny Johnson, and they put Johnny Johnson, the weak safety, out at the corner.
So he's looking at Doug Cosby out of your picture right now. White fakes one way, goes the other way. Intended for Dorsett. Danny White under pressure, and that one would not have gone anywhere as Jim Collins reacted quickly.
That was a double screen, and they had both sides of it covered. They had a screen to the left. Danny White looked and faked over there, and a screen to the right, and the Rams had it smelled out, had both sides of it covered.
Now Jeter comes in again as the Rams will go with 4 down linemen.
They want to put a guy over the center. John Robinson was saying that they like to get someone over the center in a passing down, although they're not doing it on this play.
They have Jeter on the left. They had a stunt going, that's why. Here comes Jeter. That's the first sack of Danny White. They had a stunt very similar to what Washington did to them 2 weeks ago, and they didn't pick it up.
I'll tell you, they really have trouble with that stunt. It's where the end and tackle cross. Now, let's see if we can see it, because they did have trouble with the same thing. Watch what it is. The end from here will come to the inside. Jeter, who makes the sack, he goes around here. See, they got that cross. See how the cross works here? And then he comes in and gets him. Now watch him. You see the end starts inside right there. Jeter comes from the outside, and it's the old crossing thing, and the Cowboys really have trouble with that stunt.
They really do. Reggie Doss did a good job to occupy 2 men. This is Danny White punting. And Johnny Johnson fields it. Down quickly to Cowboys. Jeff Rohr is number 50. He was the first man down along with Bruce Huther. 30-yard punt. 2-yard return, 28-yard. That's Rams still lead. Next Friday on CBS Sports, college football and college basketball action. Florida State against North Carolina in the Peach Bowl. And late night college basketball as Patrick Ewing will lead Georgetown against the running Rebels of Nevada, Las Vegas. It's all Friday here on CBS Sports. At the moment, it's the Rams 7, the Cowboys nothing. Los Angeles first down at their own 30. Eric Dickerson, the lone setback, as he will be most of the day behind Ferragamo. That was David Hill in motion. Ferragamo intended for Preston Denard. Denard was out of bounds, tried to make the one-handed grab, but couldn't hang on. Dennis Thurman back there with him.
I'll tell you, the Rams, again, have really had good mixture. That was another first down pass. But look at this. They've had 6 running plays, and they've had 10 passing plays. That's pretty good mixture. I don't think that either one is the answer. I don't think you can run all the time or pass all the time. But I think you have to mix them up.
At least if you plan your philosophy on first down, you're pretty well sure what defense the Cowboys will be in. Here's Dickerson. Tried to slide to the outside, and Bill Bates cut him down.
Well, we talked about that with Tom Landry last night, and again, he said that he wasn't satisfied with his tackling, specifically in the secondary, so he said, I'm going to put my rookie free agent Bill Bates in there, and he said, because I know one thing, he said he'll tackle him.
He may not be the fastest guy in the world, but he'll usually find some place to make contact with someone.
Sometimes even his own guy. He runs into anyone. Anyone that has shoulder pads and helmets on, man.
And now it's third down for the Rams. They send Denard in motion. Ferragamo has some time. Michael Downs deflects the pass away from David Hill. And Misko will have to punt. It is cold and hard to hold on to the ball today. Cold in the stands, too, as you can see by the number of empty seats.
That was a good play by Michael Downs. He really made up some ground here. You see, he's playing man-to-man on Hill. See, Hill gets the position now, but Downs makes it up. You see, 1, 2, 3, boom, and he gets both hands up, both hands in there. He could have caught that ball.
Misko, good kick this time. Gary Allen. No place to go as the Rams hustle down, led by Howard Carson, who usually is there when the Rams punt. 43-yard kick. And flags on the field, way back at the line of scrimmage. So they may have to do this one again.
It's usually against the punting team. Yeah, someone left early. Of course, the rule is that when the ball is snapped, the 2 outside men can leave. They can go down. Everyone else has to wait until the ball's kicked. Usually when you see this type of penalty, someone other than the 2 outside guys left before the ball was kicked.
Gordon McCarter.
Ineligible downfield. Number 54, kicking team, repeats first down.
Ferragamo started off red hot, hit his first 5. Since then, he's won out of the last 6. Misko back to kick again. Allen standing back at his own 35. This one, not as good a kick. Allen has it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the Dallas 35, where the Cowboys will take over. 37-yard punt, no return, so that's the net. Rams 7, Dallas nothing.
Chevy Chop is taking charge.
It hasn't been a very happy rushing day for Tony Dorsett. 5 carries, 11 yards. And look at the record when he rushes for less than 100 yards. Well, as John Madden pointed out at the beginning of the broadcast, running the ball is extremely important to both these teams. Rams lead it 7-0. Dorsett, the lone setback. look right, now goes left. Tony Hill shakes one tackle. Gets only about 4 yards up to the 40. Leroy Irvin back in action, comes up to make the stop. Ernie Stautner doing some chalkboard work.
Cromwell and Irwin team up on the tackle.
What he's doing is showing his guys how he wants them to rush. You see the blitz. He's showing that four-man thing. He said the next passing down, see, we're going to go here, here, you go here. Ernie's getting a lot of guys going in there. He hasn't showed the players yet. Ernie, you only got 11. You send 8, you got to go to the...
He lost all of his players.
You can't find any players.
You got to get their attention.
You got some good ideas, no players.
2nd and 6. Now is Hill in motion and White to throw. Pumps, goes deep. Bill Pearson dives. Can't come up with it. Johnny Johnson back there with him. Along with Eric Harris.
I think this is the thing the Cowboys have to do, though, because we're talking about stretching out the defense, and I was just getting that feeling that pretty soon they have to go deep. You see, Johnny Johnson made a heck of a jump on that ball and came across and got it, but I think you have to throw that thing up the field. You know, make those Rams defenders get off, because they're starting to tighten up on the Cowboys a little.
Up the field is the key. 3rd and 6. 10:20 left in the first half, with the Rams still holding that 1 touchdown lead. From the Dallas spread, Donnelly was the man in motion. White has time. He had Butch Johnson. Butch had a crack at it and couldn't hold it. Leroy Irvin was the nearest Ram, but Johnson was open. Now Stautner has an audience.
Hey, he has his players. See, and he has the defensive backs in there. That's Dennis Thurman, 32. He's watching. He probably has a play where he's going to blitz sometime in there.
He's been known to do that, although they don't like to discuss it.
They don't like to admit that they blitz. But that's one thing this Cowboy defense over the years is doing more and more.
So Danny White back to punt. Henry Ellard back deep for the Rams. Didn't get it all. Goes out of bounds, and the Rams will have it in pretty good shape. Ball goes out of bounds at about their own 35-yard line, it appears. And you can hear a few boos for Danny White. A 24-yard punt.
The punters are having a tough day.
7-0 Rams over Dallas. 7 Dallas nothing. Second quarter with 10:08 remaining in the first half. Preston Denard out wide to the right, wide to the left, beg your pardon. Eric Dickerson. That's Hill in motion. Dickerson comes out of the backfield, and Ferragamo throws in that direction. Anthony Dickerson says hello.
Well, that was one of the things that John Robinson was telling us. You know, one, that we want to pass on first down, and 2, that they want to get Eric Dickerson a little more involved in the passing game. These types of things. He said, if we can get him out there in the open field, he said, the Cowboys really aren't tackling well. He said, we may get a big play, something like that. Of course, first of all, he has to beat Anthony Dickerson.
Right. It would be hard to imagine how he can get him much more involved in the Ram attack than he already is. Dickerson, as the Rams' David Hill tried to trap Randy White, and White slipped inside.
Look at Randy White. He was probably just waiting there for Hill. He says, they aren't going to trap me. I don't care where they come from. Let the guards come, tackles, let the tight ends come. Watch him. Here's Randy White here, 54. He sees the guard pull, so he knows he's not going to get it. Look, he just collapsed Hill on that play. He made his knees buckle. Whoa.
That's not a very safe place for a tight end.
See, the guard tried to influence him. He just said, hey, you aren't tricking me. Whoa, back.
No flags. Ferragamo under heavy pressure from Clinkscale, and that's what Ernie Stautner was diagramming a minute ago.
That's right. That's what we saw Ernie Stautner talking about. We knew it was a blitzing play because he had a lot more. There's just 4 guys on that rush. He finally got his little group together and showed it to him, and it worked pretty well.
And finally got the message across. Gary Allen back deep for Dallas. Misko to punt for the Rams. Allen at his own 31. Stays on his feet momentarily, gets out to about the 33, but again, the Rams are down quickly and in good shape. Ivory Sully was the first man to make contact. That's a 40-yard punt.
Let's just see if we can see Clinkscale. Here he is, right here. Now watch him as he comes. See, he's in there and he's waiting there. He's watching the ball. He comes right between the guard and tackle turns out. Guard blocks in. No one blocks Clinkscale.
That's twice they've worked that same blitz. Both sides
likes it.
Yeah. Nobody touches him. He has a clear shot at Ferragamo. Dallas with the ball at their own 30. White back to Dorsett behind Donovan. Johnny Johnson takes Tony out of bounds. Very close to first down yardage. Good block up front by Tony Hill.
You know, anytime you ever see a long run, a wide receiver is always going to make a block. Now watch Tony Hill. He flattens a linebacker, George Andrews, right there. Andrews didn't expect it. He's standing there. He's looking in the backfield, and boom, out from his right ear hole comes Tony Hill.
Wide receiver's not supposed to block like that.
Oh, I know. George Andrews saying, hey, where'd that guy come from? I'm looking inside at those guys and block. That comes outside.
Check that number. 9:02 left to play in the first half. Dallas with the ball, their own 40. 7-0 Rams lead. Dorsett on the setback. Dorsett again. Nothing doing this time. He is popped by Reggie Doss.
That was one of those things that, you know, Tony Dorsett likes to get in there and do that little delay until the blocking develops. He came off that delay and boom, there's Reggie Doss waiting for him. Watch it here, the right side of the screen, number 71, Doss. Look, he starts out, now he sees him. Watch out, he's taking on 2 blockers and he meets him square.
Tough to dance with a guy like Reggie Doss looking at you.
You got to dance around to him. You don't dance into him.
No. On second down, White is back to throw. Tony Hill hangs on for the Cowboy first down in Ram territory at their 49, 12 yards.
He's out there on Leroy Irvin. Now, a veteran like Tony Hill knows how much he has to go for first down. Now watch him. He's going to get up beyond this second red marker. You see it there? Then he's going to stop. Selling he's coming deep. Now work back, catch the ball right there, right in front of the markers. He knows he gets his feet down, so he knows he has the first down.
First down at the Ram 49. On first down, White back to throw. A lot of time. Threw behind Cosby. Carl Eckern got the hand on it for the Rams. White with good protection couldn't find anybody.
Well, he looked out to the left and he was waiting for Cosby to do something. You know, he's waiting for him to either escape and keep going across or work back to the other side. And I don't think Doug Cosby did either one, so he threw it to Eckern.
The yards rushing. The Rams 47, Dallas 25. Neither one spectacular by any means. 7:40 left to play in the first half. Puts Johnson in motion. That's Dorsett. 2 yards and nothing more doing than that. Jim Collins led the Ram defense. Boy, you look at that field now, John, and remember what it looked like yesterday with the ice and snow all over it. They did one whale of a job to get this thing in shape like this.
They did a heck of a job, and I hate artificial turf. I really do. But, you know, you have to admit that that's one thing. You know, when they get the bad weather, they can get it, and you can play in bad weather on this stuff. Look, they even got snow and ice and stuff on the sideline, man, in Dallas. Who would have thunk it?
That's blue, though.
Blue ice.
On third down, White out of the shotgun. Nope, it's Drew Pearson. Rams had him surrounded. But again, that's a ball that on a warm day I'm sure would have been caught.
I'll tell you, with that swarming Ram defense, so you don't know, I'll tell you, they're all over the field. And the minute that ball gets there, that drew a whole bunch of blue jerseys. Watch it here. Watch him. Here it comes. Now watch these guys come. There's Andrews right there. Bowden. There's Irvin right there. They get him from the front and back. The old sandwich deal. Bunch of them around it.
Andrews, another one of those guys who will hit you if you walk by close. White back at his own 40. Good high hanging kick this time, and Johnny Johnson handles it at his own 13. Henry Ellard, I'm sorry, not Johnson. 32 punts. 32-yard punt, 32-yard net. If Dallas wins Saturday, the NFL day will begin it. It'll be Detroit at Washington at noon Eastern time, and Sunday, the 49ers. Repeat performance of the Cowboys' visit of last week to Candlestick. If the Rams win, it'll be Detroit at San Francisco. Late on Saturday, and then Sunday, the Rams at Washington starting at 12 noon Eastern time. That's where we'll be. Dickerson behind Gooman. Chased by White. Dickerson ran first down. 12-yard pickup. Everson Walls made the stop.
Tom Landry said he liked that Eric Dickerson when he was playing down here at SMU. He said, I knew he was going to be special. He said, I also knew we'd never get him. Gooman goes in motion. He just stays back. He gets the flip. Now watch how he gets his shoulder square and turn. He makes that move out, cuts inside of this block right here, runs right into the block right there, just keeps going.
Banged into the back of Farmer. 8 carries, 57 yards, though. Not bad.
Those goggles may be frosted up. He didn't see that one.
They're going a quick count. They caught the Cowboys while they were flexing. But it's Anthony Dickerson and Randy White who converge to bring him down.
That's one of the things that they wanted to do, you know, is go on the quick count, go right now while the Cowboys are moving. But I'll tell you, they played it pretty well. Watch big Randy White there. He just takes on Kent Hill, works right down the line, puts one shoulder up, and then a fist in the face. Whoa!
A club to the side of the head.
Randy White, he's one of those guys that comes to get some action.
2nd and 9. Rams operating from their own 26. 5:20 left to play in the first half. And Ferragamo will throw. Goes deep for Farmer, and it's knocked away. Flank scale and Downs really hammered Farmer.
I'll tell you, both of these secondaries are physical today. You can tell a difference in the intensity in playoff. I mean, look at this. I mean, guys are swinging arms, bodies flying, pass rush, pass protection.
So Dallas in that situation that they really enjoy so much. Most teams would, I guess. 3rd and long.
Let's see if they blitz Dexter Clinkscale again and don't block him. That's been a pretty good defensive play for him today.
Clinkscale is back deep this time, at least so far, number 47.
He's getting ready to sneak up. Yeah, there he comes.
Here he comes. And they didn't pick him up again. Ferragamo got the ball out to Preston Denard, and I think he got close enough to get the Ram first down.
Ferragamo's pass complete to Preston Denard, number 88.
I'll tell you, I think you see him. He started back here. Here he is in the left of the picture. He just comes straight up again between the guard and the tackle. That's the 3rd time that they've done that. The 3rd time that the Rams haven't picked it up. Although Ferragamo got rid of the ball.
Got rid of it quickly, and they got a first down. Ernie Stautner over on the sideline.
Dexter Clinkscale saying, Coach, it still works. Still a good one.
They haven't blocked me yet. First down Rams, their own 36. They still lead 7-0. Back to Dickerson. Here Dickerson for about 3. Bill Bates, John Dutton.
I'll tell you, I can see why Dickerson wears all that equipment. You know, we were talking to him last night, and he says everything they have in that equipment room, he said, I'm going to put on. But yeah, I mean, he plays so tough. He doesn't, run out of bounds and that. But I mean, he has the helmet, the goggles, the big mouthpiece there, the thing behind his neck. He said underneath the shoulder pads, they're reinforced, elbow pads, wrist, the biggest hip pads you can get, the biggest thigh pads.
And he's still fast.
Yeah.
And he's still big. 6'3" and 230. Here's Sturcamo outside quickly to Farmer. He's out of bounds by Walls. But it'll be a Ram first down.
To number 84, George Farmer.
He said when he was in college, he said he had real big hip pads, you know, that would come up outside the pants. And he said he wanted to wear those. And they said, no, you can't do that in the NFL. You have to have all your pads inside jerseys.
Inside the shirt. 11 carries, 62 yards for Dickerson. The Rams first down at their own 47 with 4:21 left to play. Barry Redden now has replaced Dickerson. He's averaging 5 yards a carry. They try to go on quick counts again. Redden by Harvey Martin and Anthony Dickerson. He got 1.5 maybe 2.
Barry Redden on the carry. He was hit first by Anthony Dickerson.
Harvey Martin did a nice job of containing that. He got up the field to the outside so that Dickerson had to cut back in, and that's where Anthony Dickerson was.
Maybe he only got a yard. Harvey Martin, who's another of the Cowboys, has had a frustrating year, been under some criticism, but the last few weeks seems to have quieted much of that down. Second down and 9. Ferragamo back to throw. Pass is caught. Walls on George Farmer.
It's Ferragamo's pass.
Just shy of a first down, it appears. There are the heaters over on the sideline.
You know, they have a rule. Yeah, excuse me, Pat, but they have a rule in the NFL that if you use heaters or anything on your sideline, you have to also give them to the other team. So there are 4 heaters on each side.
Not all the teams necessarily use them, but they have to be made available. Third down and short. 3rd and 1. Look at the total yards so far. 149 to 78. Edge Rams. Somebody jumped offside. Dickerson goes to the outside. It appeared to be John Dutton. Dickerson 6'3.5", 6'4", and 230 pounds, and still very quick.
Contact foul, defense.
Defense, number 78, John Dutton.
Yep, here it is right here. We'll see John Dutton move right there. You see right over the ball. Watch him right there. See, he encroaches in the neutral zone right there. They blow the whistle, so the play won't count, but it will give the Rams a first down.
Inside the Dallas 40, 39-yard line. Again, if you joined us late, among the many problems they've had here because of the unusually cold weather is that the public address system is out. Several pipes break overnight. 3 or 4 inches of water in our area when we first got here. Unusual formation. Dickerson right up close. Ferragamo. Farmer, the intended receiver. Walls back there with him. No flag.
Walls defending on the play.
I think the reason he was up there like that, Pat, is they probably anticipated some type of blitz, and they wanted maximum protection, so they put Dickerson right up by the line.
Dallas now not in their 4-0 defense with all the extra defensive backs on 2nd and long. They're going to stay with the regular defense. Walls looking over at the bench talking to somebody. 2nd and 10. Rams at the Cowboy 39. Rams timeout. I'm Pat Summerall for the NFL. To me, the Super Bowl is the greatest thrill in sports. And this game program 10 rushes, 62 yards. He averaged 4.6 in his tough, long year carrying the ball so much. So he's well over that figure.
Here's old Santa Claus. He had a big day yesterday, I guess. Got everything delivered, got everyone happy. So he comes to the game today.
Did he pay a visit to you?
No, I missed him.
I did too.
He didn't know where we were.
2nd and 10. Back to Dickerson. He's got some room. Bob Brunig out to trip him up with some help from Bates, but Dickerson got about 6 more. Does does have that great speed.
You know, it's really something. In his first year, he rushes for over 1,800 yards. He makes the Pro Bowl, and he was saying, you know, it'd be nice when it's over, though. I'd like to go home. You know, it's really something for a college player to come out his first year. He's already played over 20 games. You know, and the college season is 10 games, and about, 10, 11, 12 games. He said, hey, my body says I ought to be playing basketball or something. And the coach tells you, you still got another 8 or 10 to go.
Yeah, a lot of time left. 2-minute warning will come up before the Rams can engineer another play. They're in Dallas territory, almost in field goal range. They already lead 7-0. Rams over Dallas. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Texas Stadium. 2 minutes to go first half with the Rams leading 7-0. Third down at the 33. They need 4 for a first, and checking down by the Ram bench, Lansford, their place kicker. In spite of the cold weather, doesn't have a shoe on. Well, he does. If you call that a shoe, now that warming boot is off. Back to Dickerson. Didn't get the first down. Bob Brunig having one of his best days, and Michael Downs converge. Here is Lansford. Beat New Orleans last week. That field goal and put the Rams in the playoffs.
Well, I think the Rams just decided they're going for it on 4th down. John Robinson said this is the playoffs. We're not going to kick the field goal.
How about it?
He sent Lansford back to that big boot that he got on and says, let's go for it. That Eric Dickerson takes it.
82 yards and a long 2 yards.
Play pass.
Back to Dickerson. Back to David Hill. He won't get the first down. He didn't get it. Anthony Dickerson and Dennis Thurman stop him short of the first down, and the Cowboys take over.
John Robinson said to Dickerson, nice pass. But just they want him to make him think run. So he starts out there, stops, throws back across to David Hill, but it didn't fool Dennis Thurman. Thurman's the guy that made the big play, because had he not come up, David Hill would have been able to take that thing up the field and outside. That was a very alert play by Dennis Thurman.
It seems that the playoffs bring out the best in Dennis Thurman. First down, Cowboys, their own 30. White out of the spread. To Newsom, and Newsom rumbles for a first down at the 45. A 15-yard pickup. Mel Owens made the hit on Timmy Newsom.
Isn't it something how that 4th down works? You know, we saw in the Redskins game with the Cowboys, the Redskins go for it. Boom, they don't make it. The Cowboys go in and score. The Cowboys later go for it. They don't make it. That really destroyed them. They lost the game. And now here the Rams go for it, and it looks like it may give the Cowboys some new life. They come in, get in a spread formation. Boom, he finds Springs in there, hits him, picks up a first down, takes a timeout. Right now they're thinking of getting in position to kick a field goal. And after they get that, then they can go for the touchdown.
Both teams, by the way, have 2 timeouts remaining. Dallas just took their first one. 58 seconds left to go in the first half. Rams took the opening kickoff and drove 85 yards. Touchdown pass from Vince Ferragamo to David Hill, and that's been all the scoring. Here's Rafael Septien. Looks like he's got a sneaker on his left foot.
Of course, they always wear something different. You know, the left foot is the plant foot. That's the foot that has to give them, stop the movement. And then the right foot, of course, their kicking foot.
There's a very good-looking kicking cage over there. It's blue, too. A lot of conveniences. From the spread again, 58 seconds left to play first half. Rafferty snap to White is good. Blitz is on. White steps up, throws outside. In the direction of Drew Pearson, incomplete. He just threw that one away. Nobody open.
For number 88, Drew Pearson.
You know, but talking about that 4th down thing, I think it's good. Doggone it, it's easy to second guess. If it doesn't work, say, oh, they shouldn't have done it, and that's the reason. But if you believe something, you think you have a play, you think you can do it and turn this game, around, and maybe put it away and, start playing that type of thing. Sometimes that'll pick up your team. Hey, the coach believes in us.
And that could have possibly put it away if they did make it.
Right, and then, if it doesn't, I don't think you can second-guess those things. Say, they shouldn't have done it. Baloney. Live with what you do.
Again, spread formation. The Rams blitz. Tony Hill gets both feet down and hops out of bounds. At the Ram 43, 16-yard gain. Eric Harris, the defender.
When you don't make it, it does give the other team some life. Watch Tony Hill out here again. He's going to run an out pattern. He knows where the first down marker is. A little move. Looks like Johnny Johnson fell or slipped. Tony Hill just waited, kept both feet in bounds, then goes out, stops the clock, and gets the first down.
Still 47 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas at the Ram 44. Los Angeles leading 7-0 still.
Cowboys need about one more first down and they'll be in field goal range.
Right to Springs, and he hangs on this time. Springs to about the Ram 37. Carl Eckern with the hit. Clock still running. They do not take a timeout. They still have 2 left. They line up quickly in their spread formation. Hill to the Ram 15, Eric Harris tripped him up. The crowd starting to get a little bit warmer.
Now the Cowboys take their timeout. Now they've been working outside, been going outside to Tony Hill, and now they said, let's drive him up. Instead of making an outside move, let's go to the inside. Again, the Rams are playing deep. Johnny Johnson, number 20, slipped again, the second time in a row, and that time it was an inside play. Now the Cowboys, now they have their field goal. Now they have 1 timeout left after this one. Now they'll go to the end zone for the touchdown.
312 out of 20 he is for 117 yards. This is the deepest the Cowboys have been into Los Angeles territory all day. And a very concerned John Robinson. I wonder if he had a chance to go for that first down again. He'd change his mind.
Under the same circumstance, he'd probably go for it again. But now, knowing now that wasn't going to work, what he knows now, he wouldn't have.
Right. That's our luxury, isn't it? White. Hill. Touchdown. What a throw by Danny White. Talk about threading the needle. Tony Hill's 7th catch already. Rafael Septien with Glenn Carano holding. Rafferty is the center. Septien is good. We have a tie.
Danny White really did zip that thing in there. Tony Hill ran a post pattern on number 26, Eric Harris, and old Danny White hits him right on the nose. It starts off here, good pass protection. Get the nose tackle. Now he can step up. He reads it. Boom, right in between 3 guys. He drilled that thing in there. Here it is again. Here's Eric Harris. He's the outside man. You see, he's starting to work inside, and that ball is zipped right where no one can do anything about it. Tom Landry on that. He says, finally, something good is going to happen. I'm going to jump up a little. I'll show you some emotion. You want emotion? Maybe some emotion. I'll give you a little
Really
jump.
wasn't it? That wasn't much of a jump.
For Tom, it was a good
Yeah,
jump.
I guess it was. 70 yards, 6 plays. They kept it 51 seconds. Here's Danny White. 21 attempts, 13 completions, and Septien kicks off in the direction of Henry Ellard. Taken down by Bill Bates. Don't forget, over on the other outside of Dallas. Come January the 2nd here on CBS, the Cotton Bowl, where it'll be undefeated Texas against once beaten Georgia. Of course, the Longhorns still have hopes of a national title. But don't underestimate Georgia. That'll come your way on CBS on January the 2nd. Cowboys with a 3-man line. Ferragamo just kneels, and they'll run it out and head to the locker room with a 7-7 tie. John Robinson headed for his locker room, and Tom Landry strolling in that same direction. Don't forget, coming up, Brent Musburger and Dick Vermeil on the NFL Today, and at Texas Stadium, frigid Texas Stadium, it is still 7-7.
With that fourth down.
Summerall, John Madden, 7-7 tie. Lansford, who kicks extra points and field goals with a shoe off, kicks off with a shoe on. Lines it to the left. Ron Fellows watches it go out of bounds, and the Rams will have to do it from the 30-yard line instead of the 35.
And flag is down.
Comparative yards in the first half. Total of 156 for the Rams, 148 for Dallas, but only 28 yards on the ground for the Cowboys.
You know, it's funny that I really feel that the Cowboys get confidence from running, and they really didn't run very well. 28 yards in the first half. In fact, that's poor. But they got their confidence in another way. I think they got it when the Rams went for that fourth down. Didn't get it. They said, hey, we got some life here. Let's go.
Dickerson had a good first half, 12 carries, 70 yards. Dorsett, 8 times for 24, not up to his standards. Eric Dickerson over on the sideline. Those mittens he won't wear when he's carrying the ball, I don't think.
Now look, he got the towel, the mittens, the arm pads, the wrist tape, the whole doggone thing. I think anything that equipment man has, Eric Dickerson wants some of it.
This will be Fellows from the 12 or 13. And Fellows out of the pack. Fellows to the 45, maybe 46. Lansford, the kicker, knocked him down. Good return by Fellows.
Sometimes you can really get a lot of life from your special teams. You know, the thing, they have to set a pattern. Special teams, your return teams, they set patterns. You know, if you get down there and stop them inside the 20, it's a big play. But if you let them get out to midfield like Ron Fellows just did, that can give your whole team a lift.
So it's first down, Cowboys, their own 46. First play from scrimmage, second half, 7-7 tie. Drew Pearson in motion, and White fakes to Dorsett, now rolls out, chased by Youngblood. Gets the ball to Ron Springs and gets into Ram territory with a Dallas first down. Eric Harris knocked him out of bounds. 12-yard pickup, first down, Cowboys.
That was a good fake to the inside, and it's a bootleg. We watch this. Danny White is going to fake inside here to Tony Dorsett. Now he'll roll out here to the right. He gets out beyond Youngblood. He finds Ron Springs there. See, he had the linebacker in a bind. If the linebacker comes up to stop the run, as he did, he pops Springs. If the linebacker stays back, Danny White could have ran the ball.
That was one of those plays where they pulled linemen in opposite directions. That time Cooper went to the left, and the rest of them went to the right. The handoff is to Dorsett. He is down inside the Ram 40 to about the 38 before Carl Eckern takes him down. By the way, Tony Hill has caught 7 passes. That's in the first half alone, and that ties a Dallas playoff record.
Watch, here's Doug Cosby. He's going to come and trap in the middle. Here he is right here. See, he's coming and getting a trap that's going to free Dorsett. Watch him here. They get traps from everywhere. You see, he starts in there for the Mac. He leads up on the linebacker, and Dorsett comes in behind him.
Second down and 4, and White gets it outside to Butch Johnson, and Butch Johnson motioning to his blockers. Didn't see George Andrews coming. Andrews has laid a couple of tough hits on Butch Johnson today.
George Andrews.
Short of a first down by about a yard, 3rd and 1. You know, we talk about confidence and emotion and those types of things, and they're easy to talk about, but that doesn't mean that it always takes within a team. And you need plays. Ultimately, eventually, you have to do it on the field. I I think they got some confidence from the Rams, and I think they got some more from Ron Fellows on that kickoff return.
Short yardage, 3rd and 1. Crosby in motion, and this is Dorsett. He has the first down. Nolan Cromwell led the Ram defense, but Dorsett nevertheless got the first down. That's that short yardage setup where Phil Posderick, the backup tackle, moves inside, and Donovan goes to tight end. And now Donovan is out of the game, and Posderick stays.
Well, Donovan has to go out of the game because he moves from ineligible receiver to eligible. Then he can't move back to ineligible until he goes out for one play. He'll be in the next play.
So Posderick plays this one. It's a counter play to Dorsett, and Dorsett again twirls inside the 25. Jim Collins made the stop.
I'll tell you, it's another good block, this time by Doug Cosby. He just starts in there, and he's going to come into the picture. Then he's going to lead right up in here. Dorsett, a little counter move, and he'll come right in here behind Cosby. Now watch Doug Cosby come there. He leads on the linebacker right there. You see the hole he gets for Dorsett? Dorsett just runs right inside of Cosby.
Good job by Doug. 2nd down and 3. Dorsett got 7. They go with 2 tight ends. They give again to Dorsett, who almost lost the ball. Reggie Doss hit him shy of a first down. It's going to be 3rd and about 2.
Well, that's what a defensive end has to do, what Reggie Doss just did there. The Cowboys were working the inside run. So you don't have to keep your ends outside. So they can come down and start pinching and closing that inside.
Dorsett hit hard, holding his stomach, left the game, and Timmy Newsom has taken his place. So it's Springs and Newsom. They don't go to the spread. Vital throw. Intended for Cosby, knocked away by Leroy Irvin. And Septien is already on the field.
I'll tell you, that's good coverage by Leroy Irvin, because that would have been a first down. And again, we've talked about this before. On that 3rd and 3 or 4 or 5, Doug Cosby is really Danny White's favorite receiver because he's big. He's 6'6". He can watch him all the way, which he did on that play. And Leroy Irvin watched Cosby all the way.
So Septien, number 1, will try from 42 yards out with Glenn Carano holding. Bradfield's had a good year. Got it. So for the first time today, with 11:01 remaining 3rd quarter, the Cowboys take the lead, 10-7 over the Rams. From whom you just heard, just converted from 42 yards out to give the Cowboys the lead for the first time today. Septien will kick off now. Good kick. Henry Eller at the 1. Cowboys down quickly. Everson Walls and Bill Bates down. Walls knocked him out of bounds, and Bates applied the pressure. The Rams, first half possessions. The first time they got it, they started at their own 15 and took it the length of the field, 85 yards, as a matter of fact. And you can see what happened to him the rest of the time. Tony Dorsett has a bruised hand, but he should be able to continue. He's got on those warm gloves. 1st and 10. Rams operating from their own 21-yard line. Vince Ferragamo appears to be changing play. They go again on quick count. They give to Dickerson. Chased by Harvey Martin. He gets away from Harvey, but enough to get him out of bounds by Michael Downs and Bob Brunig. Maybe a yard.
That's one of the defensive plays against the run that will really please Tom Landry, Ernie Stautner, the defensive staff, because that's the way the flex is supposed to be played, where everyone is straight down the line. There's no cut up. You can't get to the outside. You can't turn up, nor can you cut back against the grain. The whole thing right down the line of scrimmage.
They give Dickerson 2, so it's 2nd and 8. They have Farmer and Preston Denard both lined up to the right side. That's Denard in motion. Ferragamo back to throw. To Dickerson. Cut down by Everson Walls. Not a fumble.
Ferragamo's pass complete to Eric Dickerson. He was picked up by Everson Walls.
You know, one of the tough things to do against the Cowboys is throw to your right, offensively, your right, because Too Tall Jones is over on that side, and even when he gets blocked, he has that timing thing where he can jump up, and you always have to throw. When you throw to your right, you always have to throw around Too Tall.
Remember what we were talking about at the half. Cowboys are now with the extra defensive backs in. They had blitzed Clinkscale earlier. This time it doesn't look like they'll do it. Ferragamo back to throw. Pass is caught by Barber, the tight end, of a Ram first down. No blitz by Dallas. 9-yard gain, good enough for a first.
I'm really surprised at that. I've always had the philosophy that if you do something and they don't pick it up, you continue to do it until they stop you. Now, they had not picked up that blitz from the right side there by Clinkscale. This time they didn't do it. The Rams picked up everything, completed the pass to Mike Barber, and got the first down. I always believe that thing. You stay with it until they make you stop it.
Does make sense. Rams have it at the 35, their own. Fake to Dickerson. Ferragamo under pressure again. Pass is caught by George Farmer, and what a catch. Covered by Everson Walls, but Ferragamo, great composure, hanging in there and getting the ball to Farmer.
I'll tell you, and he was able to do that by a little roll, but watch George Farmer out there. This is good coverage. Everson Walls has him. You see, he pushes him to the outside. Now he's waiting for the inside cut. He runs with him. Farmer keeps going. Now Walls extends out there, but Farmer caught the ball just by working back right there at the end.
First down, Rams now in Dallas territory. The Cowboy 47, Mike Gooman in front of Dickerson. They go to Dickerson. Dickerson hammered as he got to the 45 by Anthony Dickerson, the first man to hit him.
Anthony Dickerson, John Dutton, and Randy White.
Dickerson saying, boy, those guys hit hard.
Jeff Kemp
A gain of 2 yards.
calling the signals over on the sideline. Second down and 7 or 8. Clock running with 8 minutes left to play.
You don't see that Randy White wearing any long underwear. You see
No.
that? Those bare arms out there come ready to play. Down there in the pitch, you don't get cold when you got a lot of emotion going through those veins.
Ferragamo intended for Dickerson under heavy pressure by Anthony Dickerson. He just threw it up in the air to keep from being sacked. That's one thing he is very, very good at.
Third down.
You know, Anthony Dickerson came the same way that Clinkscale's been coming from this right side here. Watch him. Here he comes, 51 right there, you see, between the guard and the tackle. The tackle blocks out on offense, the guard blocks in, and that blitz hole there on that weak side has been open all day. It'll be interesting to see if the Cowboys go back to it with Clinkscale on this play. I would think they would, or should.
It's 3rd and long, and here comes Clinkscale scrolling up, this time to the outside. After Ferragamo. Pass interference is going to be called against the Cowboys. It's Dennis Thurman. It was Preston Denard. Now they're saying maybe it's offensive interference.
I think it is offensive. I think Preston Denard on that play pushed Dennis Thurman, although they did blitz Clinkscale and they didn't pick it up. Now watch him. He's the inside guy here. There's Thurman, 32. He got his hand up on him. I didn't see Denard push Thurman. I did see Thurman push Denard.
Number 88, offense, declined, 4th down.
I must have missed something there.
I must have, too. It is declined, however.
I thought Thurman pushed Denard, didn't you?
What it looked like.
Huh, interesting.
Gary Allen is the
Misko standing back at the 40. Gary Allen back at the Dallas 10. And Rams do a lot of pointing and motioning as Koeman looks to see if Misko is ready. Good high kick, and Allen goes up with the fair catch signal. Tough chance. Rams got it, I think. The Rams come up with a turnover. No, Dallas has it. The Rams are hopping mad. A 29-yard punt bobbled by Allen, and John Robinson is also upset. And they're still arguing.
The officials are in a conference now. I think they've changed it, Pat. They're going to give it to the Rams.
Rams, legal recovery this way.
John Robinson was out on the field. Gordon Carter said, I was wrong, and the ball goes this way. Let's watch.
It looked like he was given a fair signal, a fair catch signal. He did. He dropped the ball, and the Rams recover it right there. You can see that they have it. I don't know why they gave it to the Cowboys initially.
Mike Wiltshire is the man who made the recovery, number 94. And so the Rams get the first turnover of the game and take over at the Dallas 16. The Cowboys leading by the score of 10-7, but the Rams back in business. Dickerson up close to Ferragamo again. He blocks. Touchdown. Preston Denard from Ferragamo. Dennis Thurman was the defender, but the Rams moved back in front.
Well, the Rams know that the Cowboys play man-to-man defense. So what they want to do, they put Dickerson up there, say, give me protection. Then they let Denard run a corner pattern. John Robinson said the two things we can do, we can run post patterns and corner patterns. Now here's a corner pattern. Watch Denard. Outside guy, starts inside on Thurman. He sells him on the post. Great move to the inside, then goes back out to the corner, and that throw was about as perfect as you can get.
It really was. Preston Denard puts the Rams back in front. Boy, great pass by Ferragamo.
He really sold him on that post move.
That was a good move. Lansford makes it Rams 14, Cowboys 10. 7:23 left to play. Third quarter.
See, again, the Cowboys are playing man-to-man. Let's watch that play again. And we'll see Denard here. He's still getting his congratulations. But we're going to see the throw here. We'll see the pass protection. Now they pick up the blitz. Finally, that thing, Dickerson there, they got him. But he really sold Thurman, and that's why he beat him so much. Thurman thought that he was going inside, and he went out.
Here's John Robinson's reaction. Very happy, as you would expect. The Rams lead by 4. Hard has reason to be happy right now. Catching that touchdown pass from Ferragamo, and the Rams recapture the lead, 14-10. Lansford's kick is short. Fellows. It's Springs, not Fellows. Ron Springs up to about the 32-yard line.
Let's watch the touchdown one more time here, but the thing that makes it is the fake of the post. Now watch Denard as he comes down here. Watch right there. You see the move he made inside? That held Thurman. Then he cuts back to the outside, and again, he gets a perfect throw. But he sold Thurman on the post. Thurman says he's going to the post, he's going to the post. Denard says, nope, I'm going to the corner.
The turnovers. Look at this. And that Ram touchdown that Denard just scored was set up by a turnover. Look what happened to the Cowboys in the first 14 games, first 13 games, and then in the last 3. First down, Dallas. Pitches back to Dorsett. Dorsett tries to cut back inside. It's Meisner. But Youngblood did a good job of stringing it out.
Again, that's the real defense. You need someone to string it out. Then the nose tackle. See him? Watch Meisner. He's there. He takes on the center. Rafferty comes right down the line, stays inside. He stays inside, so there's no cutback. Dorsett starts to cut back, and the nose tackle is right there waiting for it. That's 2 pit guys, huh? Meisner against Dorsett.
Second down and 9 with just over 6.5 minutes left to play. Third quarter. Rams leading 14-10. White. fifth reception of the day. Eric Harris, the tackler, 16 yards, and Tony Hill has a new Dallas playoff record with 8 catches. He had shared that record of 7 with Preston Pearson, Drew Pearson, Timmy Newsom, and Billy Parks. First down, Cowboys, their own 49. Call it the 50. 5:55 left to play in the third quarter. Rams up 14-10. There's the book on Tony Hill. Fake to Springs. Complete to Dorsett. And Dorsett got maybe 4, perhaps more than that. Jim Collins made the tackle. As White faked to Springs and then hit Dorsett.
I think what they were trying to do is just use that as a run, that type of thing, that quick screen out there, tackle, pull, boom, you get your halfback, hit him outside, try and get him up the field. Rams are playing pretty good defense.
Yes, they are.
They really are. They're playing a team defense. You know, they don't have a dominating player on that team, one guy that's going to take over, but they play pretty well as a team, as a group.
Second down, and White will try to throw. Tony Hill dropped it. It is incomplete. He was juggling as he went out of bounds. Eric Harris was the defender.
I'll tell you, they're working over there on Eric Harris with Tony Hill. He's been catching a lot of things in front of him. Now Eric Harris looks like he's starting to tighten up a little. You see, and he's able to get a hand in there. But you know, Tony Hill did catch that ball. I don't know if he had both feet. That didn't look like a bobble to me. That official was going like that, boom, 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 bobble.
The official up at the top of the picture looked a long time.
Let's see that right there. Ah, he caught that ball. Didn't he?
He is still scrambling for it at the end. I don't think he had it, really. After we looked at it again, here comes the Rams on a blitz. That's Butch Johnson. White gets the ball to him at the Ram 34. Johnny Johnson made the stop. 12 yards, however, and another Dallas first down. Rams 14, Cowboys 10. Clock continues to run. 4:40 left, third quarter.
I think Butch Johnson may be the only receiver that's not wearing gloves today. At least to the Cowboys, all the other guys are wearing gloves. All Butch is going out there raw hands.
You can catch it better with raw hands, I'm convinced.
I am too, because that's the way you practice all the time.
First down, Cowboys at the Ram 34. Los Angeles leading 14-10. Here comes the blitz on White. He stays on his feet and now goes down. Mel Owens came around the outside. That's the second sack of Danny White, and nobody picked him up.
You know, that's one thing. The Rams don't blitz a lot. So I think what happens is sometimes the team gets in and they say, well, they aren't going to blitz. Then you bring an outside guy like Mel Owens from the top of the screen. He'll come back in right here, and no one picks him up. They don't get him blocked because they don't expect him to come.
They double-teamed Youngblood, and nobody blocked Mel Owens. They had Richards and Jim Cooper on Youngblood, and Owens was loose. 2 sacks apiece. It's second down and long. White goes back. No blitz this time. Picked off. Jim Collins comes up with the interception for the Rams. Turnover number 2.
I'll tell you, that's just a zone defense. 2 inside linebackers, Eckern and Collins. They'll just drop deep. They aren't playing man-to-man, just dropping deep and watching the quarterback. Here's Collins. He's number 50. See, now he's not playing anyone. He's just coming straight back, facing the quarterback. He's watching Danny White's eyes. He sees him pump. He just steps right in front of Cosby. Boom, he gets the ball. Go the other way.
Danny White never looked at Jim Collins, and he comes up with the second Ram turnover. They lead by 4. Dreaded turnovers. Dallas has 2. The Rams have none today. Rams just got their second with that interception. And look at this. Last 3 games, they are -9. It's hard to be in the playoffs or stay in the playoffs with that kind of reading. First and 10 Rams, their own 45. Eric Amo back to Dickerson. They've got him hemmed up at the pass. It is Bob Brunig and Bill Bates and Randy White who converge after Dickerson got maybe 2 yards. Mike Barber, the tight end, still down. John Robinson hustling down to check on how he's doing. I think John Robinson, if you visit with him several times, and of course you know him, John, for a long time, has got this game in pretty proper perspective.
I think he has the whole thing. You know, he's a first-year NFL coach, and he knows what has to be done, and he's doing it.
Here you can see perhaps what happened to Barber.
Right there, we can see that Barber's going down there. Watch that. He gets kicked in the head as he's down on the ground. He's up and off the field now.
Still a little bit stunned, but he's sitting down over on the Ram bench and seems to be okay. David Hill has taken his place at tight end. It's Gooman and Dickerson in the backfield, and Gooman in motion. Ferragamo going to throw, just gets rid of it. Has a man open, can't handle it. It's Preston Denard, who was wide open, and what a move he put on.
I'll tell you, he had Dennis Thurman, I think it was, just backing up there. Watch it here. We'll see him. He's in the outside guy. Now watch Thurman. He just keeps running. Thurman thinks it's up, it's up, it's up. He's going deep. Look at him. He just keeps running. Denard stops. He's the only guy in the picture. Oh, and he drops the ball. You know why? He caught it inside, too close to his body, and it hit his shoulder pads and bounced out. He threw it up in the air, and the official caught it.
Disgusted about that. 3rd and long, 3rd and 7. 2:54 left to play, 3rd quarter. Cowboys not showing blitz. Herman comes with Denard again. Incomplete as Bates is with Hill, and there's a penalty marker down. It's going to be interference called against Bates.
Pass interference. Number 40 on the defense. First down.
Boy, that's a tough thing for a defender. You know, they're man-to-man as the Cowboys are. We see 40 here, Bill Bates. He's covering David Hill. Now watch, Hill starts to the outside, and the thing is he can't touch him before the ball gets there. I don't know.
That's another pretty close one.
I know. That looked like pretty good coverage to me.
First down, Rams, the Dallas 42. Clock stopped, 2:50 on that penalty. 2:50 left, 3rd quarter. Rams 14, Cowboys 10. Ferragamo to Dickerson. Dickerson nudges for 2 or 3, and there's a little exchange going on between Randy White and someone. Kent Hill, I suppose.
I think Bill Bates was in there and started it.
Probably.
I think he did. I think he started it, and then Randy White got in there. What did they used to call Bill Bates in the 6th grade?
The bully of the schoolyard. No penalty flags are dropped on this one, however. The clock does run. Continues now with 2:25 left to play, 3rd quarter. Los Angeles 14, the Cowboys 10. Rams win, they go to Washington. Cowboys win, they go to San Francisco. Dickerson, the lone setback. Give this to Dickerson. Dickerson shakes one tackle. Bates stays with his feet and takes him down.
And that was the reason that Tom Landry started Bill Bates today. He just said in the secondary we weren't doing it. He said, and we have to now. What the Rams are trying to do is get Dickerson into that secondary and have him miss, but Bates made the tackle.
Short yardage for the Rams. Barber comes back. David Hill stays, and so does James McDonald, number 83. The ex-basketball player who they have high hopes for. Think they might be up to something here? Like a pass, a play pass?
I would think so.
They get back to Dickerson. He has the first down. Dickerson not knocked out of bounds by Downs, but Dickerson gets down to the 15, and the Rams do get the first down.
Because if you have a guy like Eric Dickerson, you don't need stuff like passes and tricks and stuff. And John Robinson probably said, the last time I had a short yardage, I tried that stuff. This time, I'm going to give it to my best running back. I'm going to let him run the ball, pull my center out there, pull some other guys out there, let him get around that corner for a first down.
18 carries, 104 yards for Dickerson.
And someone had to block Bates, and watch it right there. It's Mike Gooman. That's a heck of a collision. That was a 72 on the collision chart.
Up close to Ferragamo is Redden. That usually means he's going to throw it. He does. Pass is incomplete. Harrison Walls was covering George Farmer. Farmer thought he had it. Incomplete, however.
I'll tell you, I think Ferragamo showed the strength of his arm on that play. That thing was like it was shot out of a rifle. Boom. Didn't stay in the air very long.
Second and 10, a first down incompletion. On first down now, Ferragamo is 5 out of 10. 2 of them, however, have been for touchdowns. It's Redden back behind Ferragamo. The pitch is back to Redden. He is cut down after a gain of a couple by Harvey Martin and Randy White.
Well, John, get Eric Dickerson back in there. I don't think you come all the way down. There you go. Okay.
Here comes Dickerson.
I don't think you go all the way down the field there and then get in position to score and have him watching with mittens on.
He's without mittens at the moment. Big Jackie Slater, number 78. Tom Landry. You know, I wouldn't have thought he would wear that coat. That's the same coat he wore last year in Washington when the Redskins eliminated Dallas in the NFC Championship game. This goes to show you he's not very superstitious, doesn't it?
He doesn't think about things like that.
No. Probably why he's lasted so long. That's Hill in motion, and this is Ferragamo quickly. They got the first down inside the Dallas 5. It's Preston Denard again. This goes back to that other pass when he scored a touchdown.
Here it is right here. It's a slant. I think it's going to be. Here it is right here. He's on the outside now. This is Ron Fellows out there playing. He's going to start in just right down the line. Boom. Hit him right there. But there was a penalty on the play. I think it was one of those deals where there's a penalty on both sides or something, huh?
Must be. So it'll be first and goal for the Rams at the 3.
No fouls occurred after the play was over. We got the first down, goal to go. Penalties off.
Hara and Smirek are the 2 number 60s involved.
That's right.
First down.
That's that dumb penalty, you know, where they get in a fight and they just give them penalties against both sides and nothing happens. That's the dumbest thing they do, I think.
Newman and Dickerson are the 2 backs. It's first and goal, Rams. The Cowboy 3. Flag is down again as Dickerson walks into the end zone.
Dickerson who carries into the end zone. Now right flag is down.
That was when they blew the whistle before the ball was snapped.
Number 60, Anya.
Hara pulled early.
Gee, that's a bad time for Harry. He had the fight on the play before, and then he wants to get out there early. He is upset. Dennis Hare is one of those emotional guys. Watch him 60 in here. We can see him right there. Dennis, you can't move. Oh, he starts to pull. He said he had to go to the left. He started before the ball was snapped.
So it's still first down back at the 8 now with 9 seconds to play. Third quarter.
Boy, is he upset with himself. You know, he knows that 9-year veterans don't do those types of things.
He is one of the real leaders of the Ram offensive line, particularly. The whole team, for that matter. 9 seconds left to play. Third quarter. Dickerson's the deep back to give to Dickerson. Michael Downs came up to fill the hole quickly. That's a good force by Downs.
Eric Dickerson, he was stopped on the play by Anthony Dickerson and Michael Downs.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score of the Rams 14, the Cowboys 10. We'll return to Texas Stadium after this word from your local station. Rams leading 14-10. Dickerson back back of Ferragamo. It's Denard in motion, and Ferragamo to throw. Has some time and fires. Farmer. Touchdown. What a catch by Farmer, and another great throw by Ferragamo.
Ferragamo's pass complete to number 84, George Farmer.
I'll tell you, George Farmer just stopped, and he was falling down. And Ferragamo drilled it right into him as he was falling. He was running that end line in the back of the end zone. He just stopped and started to fall down. Let's see if we can pick it up here. There we see from here, pretty good pass protection. Good job by the offensive line. Ferragamo can pump, he can look. He sees Farmer in the background. You see Farmer stop, starts to fall down, catches the ball. He threw it a little behind him.
Lansford for the extra point now with Nolan Cromwell holding. The Rams have taken command. 21-10 in a very quiet Texas stadium.
John Robinson was telling us that George Farmer may be the most improved player on his team this year. Now watch him. He's going to take the end line, get up on the back line, and now start running straight across. He's open there. The ball's thrown a little behind. He's falling down, catching the ball. That was a great throw and a great catch.
Between the two safety men, Downs and Bates. And a very happy John Robinson as the Rams now lead 21-10 over the Cowboys, and we're in the fourth quarter. It is Dorsett to the 25 as Nolan Cromwell came up with a good tackle.
Tackle on the play made by number 21.
That's a draw play. Now, what they do, now watch Jack Youngblood here. See, they show pass. They get him up the field. Then they come in and they trap him with Herbert Scott, and Dorsett just runs right inside him. See, they influence, make him think it's pass, pull the offside guard, Scott. He kicks him out. Boom, inside.
Only 4 yards, however. So make it 2nd and 6. Cowboys operating from their own 26. White back to throw. Right through the hands of Cosby. Couldn't quite get turned around.
Danny White's pass intended for Doug Cosby, incomplete. 3rd down, 6.
Well, look what the Ram defense has done. The average and what they've done today. Led by Meisner and Youngblood and Reggie Doss. Those 3 guys up front. Danny White operates out of the shotgun, the spread formation. He's 7 out of 11 from this formation. He has Newsom. And Newsom will have the Dallas first down. He's hit by Leroy Irvin, but Newsom hangs on. 10-yard gain, and they move the sticks. Clock continues to run, however, with 13:45 left to play. A lot of concern on that bench.
I tell you, they just haven't been the same since that Redskin game. I think, they went in there sky high, boom, they got everything deflated, and I don't think they've recovered from that game yet.
It certainly doesn't look like it. Of course, the 49er game was devastating, but it was really the Redskin game that did it. Here's White. He gets out to Spring. Springs goes to the 40, maybe 41. Carl Eckern and Nolan Cromwell. You were saying before that the Rams don't really have a dominating person on that defense, but they have played well.
Well, that's one thing that they wanted to do. And John Robinson talked about that. When he took over the job, he says, we want more movement by our defense. He had the feeling that the Ram defense was just kind of standing around and waiting for things to happen. He said, we want movement, and that's what they're getting.
That's Tom Rafferty, the center for the Cowboys, who limps off. Glenn Titensor has taken his place. 2nd down and 5 from the 41-yard line. Titensor, of course, with the Cowboys coming from behind, will have to apparently snap the ball from the spread formation, and I don't know how good he is at that. Rams show blitz. Both those inside linebackers up quickly. White has him back out now. And now they give to Dorsett, and Dorsett has nothing. Reggie Doss puts the clamps on Tony.
I'll tell you, that Reggie Doss is playing a heck of a game. You know, he's a real solid player over there, both as a pass rusher and playing against the run. The Cowboys were trying to get that thing. Watch on the right side of the screen here. See, they get Cosby coming in on the lead, and then Doss plays off the tackle. Donovan, he just picked him up. You see that? He just took his shoulder pad, just threw him to the ground, and then was right there for Dorsett.
Rafferty is back in the game after a one-play vacation, by the way. Donnelly in motion. Here come the Rams, and now too much time. The 30-second clock ran out. The Cowboys will lose 5.
I'll tell you, that's one of the problems the Cowboys have had. You know, getting that play in and getting it off within the 30-second count.
They walk off the 5.
Poor old Rafferty on that play was saying, what the heck did I come back for? Did you see that?
Delay of game. Number 11, the quarterback. Still third down.
Watch Tom Rafferty, the center. He comes in there, and then Jeter starts on. Now the whistle's blowing, and Jeter just takes him right into the backfield, into the referee, Youngblood, the whole bunch of them.
It was a heated exchange. That's Tony Hill, and Tony Hill got just enough for a Cowboy first down in front of Leroy Irvin. 9 catches for 116 yards for Tony Hill. And they stopped the clock with 11:54 left to play.
I think the Cowboys had that same feeling. You know, we're down 21-10. We have to do something now. We have to get some momentum, some life, something back. And they look like they're starting on that.
Jack Youngblood. A long, rewarding career for him. Quite regular formation this time. In the Dallas 47, throwing on almost every down he has to. Drew Pearson at the Ram 35. First down, Cowboys. Nolan Cromwell made the hit that brought Pearson down.
You know, you don't know if the Rams defense, after they got this lead, have started to loosen up, but I have the feeling that they might. You know, that their zones are a little looser, that they're giving the receivers a little more room in there. That one doesn't look bad there because they sure got there quickly, but from this whole drive, I thought maybe everything kind of loosened up a little, and the Cowboys are taking advantage of it.
The first catch of the day by Drew Pearson. Rams leading 21-10. First down, Cowboys, Ram 34. White on a draw play. Gives to Dorsett. Dorsett to the 22. Mel Owens tripped him up. Enough for another Cowboy first down. 11 yards for Tony. 16 carries, 57 on the day.
This is a heck of a play call here. They've been throwing all the time, as you said, throwing on every down. So now they give him a draw play. They let him rush, get the line up there, then boom, they turn him out and pop Tony Dorsett through on a draw.
Rafferty got the good block on Meisner. Dorsett took advantage of it. First down. Pass is picked off, intended for Butch Johnson. Leroy Irvin comes out of there with it and still got it, and he might go. Irvin got only to outrun Jim Cooper. Springs chasing, and Springs takes him down from behind at the 3-yard line. Leroy Irvin, and the Rams are in command. 94 yards he went.
A combination of a bad throw. It was thrown behind Butch Johnson and a good play by Leroy Irvin, who got a good jump on it. Watch it here. Here's Butch Johnson, he's the outside guy. He's going to run an inside move in here in the post. Now watch, Irvin starts in, but the ball's thrown behind Johnson. See, so it was a bad throw behind, but a good jump by Irvin, and then he takes up the field, and he darn near runs it back 100 yards.
Look what a job is done here by Ron Springs. That's Cooper who can't catch him. Now here comes Springs.
I'll tell you, he went for the ball, too. You know, that thing could have popped out of there. He could have saved that.
Nevertheless, it's first and goal Rams at the Cowboy 3.5. The turnovers again. That's the third by the Cowboys, and the Rams position to take advantage of another one. Ferragamo intended for Barber, and it's incomplete. Jeff Rohr made the dive at the last minute to knock it away from Barber. The Rams were hoping for pass interference, but it didn't happen. John Robinson has to be pretty pleased about what's happening right now. Now you go to Dickerson.
I would think so. That's that looks like the type of thing that the Rams do. They play fake to foul him up. If you don't, then just come back and give it to Eric Dickerson.
To Dickerson. He cuts back inside the 2 and doesn't make it.
He would have made it though, Pat, had he not been tripped, because he had a hole there. He had his shoulder square, and he was ready to go. Let's watch it from here. He'll go to the left here. I watch him square his shoulders, make the cut. You see, he has it right there, but he just tripped. Had he not tripped, he had that shot to the goal line.
He was in if he didn't trip. They're still at the 3. And it's 3rd and goal from that point. The Rams 21, the Cowboys 10. Would they settle for 3? I'm sure they would. They'll take the big one. Ferragamo in the corner, over the head of David Hill. The Dallas defender had fallen down, and Ferragamo, under pressure from Clinkscale and Huther, just couldn't quite get it there.
He had David Hill wide open, but as you said, Clinkscale again came on the blitz. He was free, and Ferragamo was just throwing the ball away, and in throwing the ball away, he almost threw a touchdown. But that's a place to throw that ball, though. Is it the deep part of the corner? Because either your guy gets it. You see the guy fall down? There's David Hill. He's wide open, but Ferragamo's throwing it to that second pylon.
This will be Lansford from 20 yards out with Nolan Cromwell holding. Lansford gets it. And turnovers again, 17 points the Rams have gotten from those turnovers, and they lead the Cowboys 24-10 with 9:07 left to play.
And happy holiday. We get the running back. They're nice, but I got those guys right there in the middle of things. Make it happen.
Fellows can't go anywhere. Ivory Sully, who's made just about every tackle for the Rams on kickoffs, makes another one. Much of a reception now for Danny White and the Dallas offense as they come back out. By the way, that 94-yard interception return by Leroy Irvin is the longest in NFC playoff history. The longest in NFL playoff history was 98 yards by Darrell Ray of the Jets against Cincinnati last year. Here's White back to throw. Gets it out to Dorsett, and Dorsett can only get to about the 28. Jim Collins right there. They're not going to beat him with passes like that.
Well, they aren't, because they have over 8 minutes left. But again, they have to be thinking in terms of 2 scores. They're not going to get one. They have to get one and then get the ball back and get another one. So that's a totally different type of thinking.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Cowboys, their own 29-yard line. The Rams leading 24-10, and White is back to throw. Gets it out to Dorsett. Herbert Scott in front of him. Mel Owens, the tackler, but Dorsett got enough for the first down, I believe. Yes, he did.
I'll tell you, Jack Youngblood had a heck of a pass rush on that thing, and Jim Cooper held him right in front of the referee. Let's see if we can watch Youngblood here. He's going to take an inside move on Cooper, 61. Look, he starts now, he goes inside. Now watch Cooper. No, he just blocked him down below. That was okay. It looked like he grabbed him down.
He rolled on him at the right time.
Yeah.
Youngblood looking into that backfield. First down, Dallas, and White goes back to throw. This is Billy Joe Dupree in his first reception of the day for about 9. Carl Eckern made the stop. It could be the last game. Billy Joe Dupree hasn't really definitely announced that he is quitting, but after 11 years, he says he might.
I'll tell you, in the NFL and professional football miss the types of guys Billy Joe Dupree is. I mean, he's one of those guys that has not only been a fine player for the Cowboys, but gives so much back. You know, he's one of those community-type guys, and they're the special ones that you really miss.
White. Cosby to the rim, 35. Stopped by Eric Harris. 21-yard gain as White is on target to Cosby.
Again, I don't think the Rams can loosen up too much. I think they have to keep the same type of pressure. Maybe bring a linebacker once in a while because they're getting pretty good pass protection here, giving Danny White time, and then his receivers can work against that loose zone. I think that there's too much time for them not to mix it up.
The time being 6.5 minutes left to play. Cowboy first down at the Ram 34. Los Angeles leading 24-10. Here's White back again. Looks at Dorsett. Goes for Tony Hill. Incomplete after a Walinda juggling act in the end zone. Eric Harris back there.
I'll tell you, Tony Hill was double covered on that one because Eric Harris was there, but so was Johnny Johnson. You see Johnny Johnson coming here. Almost had the interception. Eric Harris did. They had him inside out. He got the ball at his highest point, had it in his hands, and just bobbled it away. That was good coverage.
Excellent. So it's second down and 10. Hill goes out. Pearson goes out. So the wide receivers for Dallas are Butch Johnson on the left and Doug Donnelly on the right. Donnelly can run. They give him a draw play to Dorsett, and he gets nothing. He had no room to run. Carl Eckern tripped him up. Reggie Doss got a hand on him. Crowd unhappy with that play call.
So what the Ram ends are doing now on those draws is they're taking inside or pinch moves, and that's what we saw Youngblood do earlier, and Reggie Doss just did on that play.
So it'll be third down and 8. Clock running because of the rushing play. 5:40 left to play. Springs and Newsom.
Cowboys have 2 downs.
Big play. From the spread. He has time. Pass is in the air and picked off again by the Rams. Mel Owens comes up with this interception on the ricochet, and that could just about do it.
Landry said last night, he said, we can't live with those turnovers. He was prophetic. They're getting the same thing. He said, we just can't have that. Of course, you never can have that. That's obvious.
4 turnovers now. And here's the interception.
Well, it's tipped before it's intercepted. Good play. Goes up once. The old volleyball thing, catch it at its highest point.
So the Rams have it now. They lead by 14. The Cowboys' last 4 possessions. They fumbled a punt. They have suffered 3 interceptions, and the Rams have been able to capitalize. And you got to give them a lot of credit. Turnovers are one thing. What you do with them is something else.
And then the fact that you cause them, too. You know, the Ram defense has been hitting. They've been swarming. They've been around the ball all day.
So it's first down Rams at their own 20. More importantly, they lead 24-10. And let Eric Dickerson just run out the clock. That looks like what they have in mind. Michael Downs came up to make the stop. The Rams win. Of course, they go to play the Redskins. And Detroit goes to San Francisco. There's the Ram bench. Broad back of Jack Youngblood. Reggie Doss next to him. Both have played well today.
There's old Marv Gould. He's the defensive line coach. He's down there telling you, it seemed like Marv had been forever at USC, and he came to the Rams this year, and it's his first year, and he's done a heck of a job. Marv is one of those emotional guys. You know, Marv's always ready to play himself, and he always has that way of getting players to want to go play.
Back to Dickerson, who trips and is taken down again by Downs at the 20.
Eric Dickerson again.
Danny White.
Trips up at the 20-yard line. Down by
Frustrating day as he talks to Tom Landry.
You know, I'll tell you, you can just see when a quarterback loses his confidence, you can see it in his eyes.
Sure can. So that's what it looks like it will be. Dallas Dallas, I think, has taken a timeout. And so they'll have 2 left. 24-10, the Rams lead. Where it all started, the downhill slide 2 weeks ago against the Redskins, right here at Texas Stadium. 4th and 1. And in talking to Tom Landry last night, he still hasn't gotten over that play or that game.
As he said, you know, Tom's really not an emotional man, and he said that maybe we were too high emotionally and we could just never recapture it once we lost it.
They give to Dickerson on 3rd down. He's knocked backwards and dragged and hangs on to David Hill, and now they say we've got the ball, but the Rams will have to punt.
Handoff was to Eric Dickerson.
It's Dickerson, who I believe is hurt. You saw him grab David Hill on the way down. He's holding his right foot. Certainly not sure what it is, but certainly also very hopeful that it's not something that would hamper him.
Well, of course, what he's thinking here is just don't fumble. Just keep the ball. There's David Hill. You see, he runs into David Hill. I think David Hill stepped on his foot because he was starting to drag that thing, and then he fell on from behind from Randy White.
So we'll see. Eric Dickerson is up and walked off the field. It seemed that he stepped on David Hill's foot and maybe in the process sprained his foot.
That's what it was. He stepped on his foot. Let's see if we can see it right here. See, he's coming right there. Now, right there, he stepped on David Hill's foot. Then he twisted his foot as he was going down.
We'll let you know what happened and how serious it is if we can find out as soon as we can. Misko back to kick. Allen has it bounce to him at midfield. 2 yards maybe. About 47. They're checking on Eric Dickerson's right ankle. That's what he stepped, where he stepped on David Hill. 39-yard punt by Misko, 2-yard return, 37-yard net. Cowboys quickly out of the huddle. Dickerson over on the sideline. 4:07 left to play. White to Spring. Ron Springs into Ram territory about their 46. 4 minutes now left to play. Cowboys have 2 timeouts remaining. The Rams have all of theirs, and there's an injured Dallas player. It's Howard Richards. Kurt Peterson usually alternates with
Number 7,
Richards.
Richards is the Cowboy being checked this time.
Baldinger is their other backup offensive lineman who would take his place. The story of the Cowboy defeats of 1983, and the figure on the bottom is today's rushing yardage, of course.
I think that whole thing has to do with confidence, as I said. You know, it just seems like when they can run, then everything seems to flow. Conversely, when they can't run, then they don't get any flow. I don't have the feeling that the Cowboy offense today has ever gotten in sync. Of course, the Ram defense had something to do with that because they've been a swarming, very solid defense.
They have played extremely well, no doubt about that. It's a hyper-extended arch, we are told, the problem with Eric Dickerson.
One thing, he doesn't have to put any ice on it, though, does he?
No, not today. Richards is up out on the field. Billy Joe Dupree looking on.
And you know what Eric Dickerson is thinking about? He's thinking about next week. He's thinking, I got to be ready for next week. And those Washington Redskins, we can finish this thing off. He's not worried about today anymore, I don't think.
Don't forget also next week, the Cotton Bowl, January the 2nd with Texas. The unbeaten Longhorns still with a dream of a national championship against once beaten Georgia, 9-1-1. Rafferty is the center. Now Richards is out. And Baldinger's the guard. White under pressure, taken down by Charles DeJournay. The third sack of Danny White as the Cowboys hustle back quickly. But the clock is running. Now they stop it at 3:45. DeJournay in there quickly. White looking over to the left. Youngblood struggling back. Here comes another sack. White does get rid of the ball, but they're going to say he's in the grasp. He gets it to Dorsett. George Andrews had White.
That's one thing the Ram defense is doing now. They're keeping pressure on them. You know, they're bringing a linebacker. They're stunning their defensive line, and they're keeping pressure on this Cowboy offense, not just sitting there and letting them throw into those zones with no pass rush.
4th and 14. 4th and 17 to go. Here's White. Up in the pocket, throws for Drew Pearson, and Drew has it at the Ram 30 and hangs on. First down there for Dallas, 30-yard gain. 24-10, the Rams leading with the clock running, 2 minutes 50 seconds left to play. Less than that now.
28-yard line.
Rams take their time getting back. White. Hill lets it bounce out of bounds.
Danny White's pass intended for Tony Hill, incomplete.
Eric Harris was the defender. Billy Joe Dupree getting the word from Tom Landry now.
I'll tell you, 4th and 17, that was some play here by the Cowboys. The Rams did rush one. We can see Drew Pearson here. He's coming from the outside, keeps working in. He catches it in front of one and on the side of another one. Against that zone defense, he just worked through and found a seam or a hole in there.
That just about saved the season, or maybe for a little while.
It prolonged it.
Yes. Hill was wide right. Here's White back to throw. He has a lot of time this time and throws it out to Drew Pearson and overthrows. That'll be out of bounds. That'll make it 3rd and 10.
White's pass intended for Drew Pearson, incomplete.
Again, they have to be thinking in terms of 2 scores. Now with a 3rd down, see, on 2nd down, they could have gone for the end zone. Now on 3rd down, he has 2 downs to pick up 10 yards. So he has to get a 1st down, then go for the end zone, then go for the onside kick, and so on and so on.
And keep watching that clock. It says 2:34 left to play now, and the Rams up by 14 points.
And of course, in playoffs, it's true sudden death. There's no 1 quarter. They just play until someone wins.
Here's White. Springs. Looks like he might be about a yard shy of the 1st down. Carl Eckern was the Ram tackler as the Cowboys hustle up with the clock running at 2:20 left to play.
Cowboys better watch out here on 4th down. You better make sure you have a good play, because if you don't get any more all day.
White, 30-second clock has not run down to where it's serious as yet. Fumble. And he dives forward for perhaps a 1st down. That's very close. The fumble on the 4th down, and the 2-minute warning will be issued now. Let's see if they got the 1st down.
That is a 1st down.
It is a 1st down. The Rams are asking them to measure, but the officials are saying it is enough.
Well, you know, they have that rule. It's not in the last 2 minutes yet, but now 4th down, fumble, last 2 minutes. The only guy that can recover the fumble is the guy who fumbled it. But in this case, it was the center quarterback. Danny White did recover the fumble and did recover it for a 1st down.
The Rams still want things measured.
Well, it's too late now. They've already moved the sticks.
Danny White has thrown, by the way, 47 passes today, which is a Cowboy record. But the Rams are the ones that lead the scoreboard 24-10 with 2 minutes left to play. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Texas Stadium, where the Rams lead the Cowboys 24-10. The timeout situation you saw. The Rams have all of theirs. The Cowboys have 2 left. 2 minutes left to play. Danny White. Has the touchdown. Now a penalty marker is down. It's going to be holding against the Cowboys. go to work again. Cosby holding his head.
Doug Cosby can't believe that, but it was thrown by the referee, who's marking it off here, who's behind the quarterback, and it was thrown right in that area.
Holding, number 61, offense, repeat first down.
On Cooper.
It was Jim Cooper. He had to be blocking Jack Youngblood. But watch Doug Cosby's reaction when he sees the flag. He doesn't know, he sees it now. Oh!
Can't believe it. Still first down. Now back at the 28. A minute 55 left to play. White comes out of the pocket. Chase. Ball is loose. They're saying his arm had started forward and it's incomplete. Mel Owens was chasing Danny White. Dick Nolan and Tom Landry watching that clock run down now with a minute 47 seconds left to play.
John Robinson's down there trying to calm down his players on that because they were arguing that this was a fumble. Danny White was in the grasp there, and I guess he was trying to throw the ball.
His arm did go forward. I don't know who he was trying to throw it to.
I'll tell you, there's a guy who's done a heck of a job in his first year with this team. He came in, the Rams were down. He got Eric Dickerson, brought in a bunch of new coaches, and they put a new life in this Ram team.
And they're playing like that. Tony Hill. Out of bounds. Incomplete. Vince Newsom was the defender back there with him. But it is incomplete. That'll bring in third down and 20. Back at the 27.
Let's watch it here and see if Tony Hill has 2 feet in. Nope, the right foot wasn't in.
Did not, does not.
Good call, good angle. We were right down there in that thing, that camera. Huh?
Big third down play now coming up. Rams pretty happy about the way things have gone today. Not so on the other side of the field. 1:41 left to play. The ball at the 27. Los Angeles 24, Dallas 10. Tony Hill down to the right. Danny White up into the pocket. Cosby at the 5 is knocked down hard by Vince Newsom, but that'll be enough for the first down as the Cowboys hustle up quickly. First and goal at the 5. A minute 20 left to play now. Danny White. Newsom, the intended receiver. Johnny Johnson out there with him. White hit hard.
That was a bad play there by Danny White, because when you only have a minute left, you have to throw the ball in the end zone. It wouldn't do any good to complete the pass out there. You have to get your receivers in the end zone and throw it into the end zone, because you need to score. You have to score, onside kick, get the ball again, and score again. You can't throw short of the end zone in this situation.
51 passes thrown by White today. 31 out of 51. They have not been able to run the ball at all. Tony Hill out wide to the right. Someone jumped, and now the flags go. Rams, of course, is saying we were pulled offside. Clock is stopped. A minute 10.
If I were the Cowboys, I'd decline this because it's easier to throw.
Defense.
It's easier to throw from the 5-yard line than it is at 2.5. Gives you 2.5 more yards to have your receivers work.
I think they're going to take it.
Maybe they just give it to them.
Half the distance to the goal line.
Because they really can't run in this situation. They have to throw.
Contact foul. Middle of the defensive line. Still second down.
Second and goal at the 2. Right back to throw again. Had it to Drew Pearson, and Drew couldn't hang on. Good throw from White. It was right there. Stops it with 1:07 left to play.
And that was an example. Is maybe if he had a couple more yards of depth to work, he may have caught this ball, because he has things in there. You see, and he just dropped that ball. Geez, there's no excuse for that.
That ball was there.
Yeah, he had plenty of room. Boom, it was in there. He just dropped it. Ooh.
Third down now and 2 to go. 1:07 left to play. 24-10 Rams on top. Crosby stays with feet down, and there are no flags this time. Johnny Johnson, the defender. But the Rams get on the scoreboard. The Cowboys get on the scoreboard. Beg your pardon. The Rams are already there.
I'll tell you, that's the third time that Danny White threw the touchdown. It's the second one to Crosby here, and he threw one to Drew Pearson. He dropped. Here, Crosby starts here, goes out in motion left, starts upfield on Johnny Johnson, back in. He goes out, in, up, back in, touchdown. Now they have to make this extra point, then kick and get the onside kick.
Doug Crosby. The touchdown pass from White. Still 1:03 left to play. Septien gets the extra point. 51 yards. They kept it 14 plays and 3 minutes 4 seconds.
Going to be an interesting play here. The Cowboys, of course, will go for the onside kick. They have to, because they don't have all their timeouts left.
They only have 2.
Now the Rams will get in all their guys with good hands, and they'll all be up there in front, and there'll be a heck of a scramble for the football right here.
Coming up next, the NFL Today and the wrap-up show with Brent Musburger and Dick Vermeil. Today's highlights. This is the only game today. They'll try the onside kick almost certainly. And the Rams, as John Madden just said, have all their guys with good hands up front.
What they'll do, yeah, up there in that front, they got a lot of 80s, 20s, 30s. You don't see any linemen there. Those guys that got tape on their hands. Talking about the Ram return team there. This is what you call, the Rams are in what they call an onside prevent. Look at all those guys. They're checking their hands, checking everything, making sure they're warmed up, loose.
Septien lining things up, looking over to his left. He has Walls and Clinkscale and Thurman and Fellows all over there.
This will be exciting.
1:03 left, and here we go. Goes out of bounds. There was touch before it went out of bounds, however. Rams can say we'll take the ball, or they can make them kick it again. Bruce Huther in there arguing. 1:03 left to play. The clock doesn't start, of course, until the ball is touched in the field of play. In this situation, the Rams 24 was hit by Walls, I believe, before it went 10 yards. The Rams have it.
The last touch by the Rams before it went out of bounds. Rams football, first and 10.
Last touch by the Rams before it went out of bounds, and so the Rams take the ball.
I think Nolan Cromwell down there touched him. Let's watch the ball here. It has to go 10 yards. It hasn't gone 10 yards. It's touched by Walls there. Then I think it's Nolan Cromwell. He just punched it out of bounds. Smart play.
Batted it out of bounds, right.
Batted it out of bounds.
So the Rams take it out.
Cromwell said, what'd they do? Was that good? Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was good.
You get to play next week.
That's extra good.
Wonder what the Redskins think. They've probably been watching this game.
Yeah.
They're so used to rooting against the Cowboys. I'm sure they're doing that.
I'm sure they are.
They're rooting for the team that they're going to have to play.
Ferragamo just kneels on the ball. Cromwell just knocked it out of bounds, and it was, as John said. Terry O'Neill's the executive producer. The director, senior producer, first of all, Charles Milton III, the director, as I started to say, Sandy Grossman. Joan Vetrano, the associate producer, and all the rest of our crew who do such an outstanding job. So it looks like the Rams, now with the Cowboys down to 1 timeout, will be able to run things out. All these guys that you're looking at now, the names, all spent Christmas on the road as we did.
Vince Ferragamo will be able to kneel down one more time and then another time, because the Cowboys have one last time out.
Ferragamo does that. And so they take their last one. And those Rams are going to have a happy, happy flight home. Don't forget, here is the situation next Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, the NFL today, Detroit against San Francisco, 3:30 Eastern time, and Sunday, these Rams will be at Washington, 12 noon Eastern time, and that's where we'll be. They have every reason to be just that happy. In the meantime, it's reevaluation time for Dallas.
Well, it is, and the Rams have an awful lot to be proud of. I mean, they started as a team. They hung together as a team.
They sure did.
Their owner, Georgia Frontiere, did a great job in hiring John Robinson, who in turn did what he had to with these guys.
Ferragamo, a winner again at Texas Stadium as he quarterbacks the Rams to a victory over Dallas. And the Rams, in addition to playing great solid defense, took advantage of turnover. Those turnovers will kill you. They always have.